do you know where the lamp is? Because this is like giving a bit of a glare. Is it next door? Sorry, you know, Caleb. That's just his crotch, by the way.
Lovely crotch, sir.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
What's up, guys? Welcome. It's Bacon is My Podcast. We are a life podcast. We are a living podcast. We are a What's Your Day About podcast. We are a podcast where we talk to people sometimes, and we're a podcast where we talk to each other all the time. We're a podcast where this is our late taping, and we've been taping all night, and we've been drinking a lot. So that's what you get right now. That is what you get. But welcome to Bacon is My Podcast. How you doing?
This is the intro.
Yeah,
this
I just came at that
intro.
hard. I had a lot of energy.
Hard.
I had a lot of energy.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. He said it all.
I said
I'm
a lot.
Mike.
I'm Jimmy.
He's Jim. We are Bacon is My Podcast.
We want
already.
to thank you for tuning in. We want to thank special thanks real quick to our sponsors,
Yes.
BarkBox, Fresh Clean Teas, Paramount Plus, Poddex,
And Sports Legacy Supplements.
Sports Legacy Supplements. Thank you guys for helping the show go. And a very special from us to you. We absolutely love you. Thank you to all of our people on Patreon. Thank you to
The
all
BIMP
of
squad.
our patrons, the BIMP squad.
I mean,
Junior
maybe
Bacon team,
the
all of them.
Junior
All of them.
Bacons.
The Junior Bacons, the Bacon Doubles, all of them, all of you on
Just
Patreon.
Junior Bacon. and
Thank
then,
you for our
like,
patrons. We appreciate
the,
you. You guys help the show keep going.
Bacon Bits.
You help keep it free for everyone, which is awesome. Bacon Bits. Yeah, if you go on there, there's all kinds of extra content, special stuff. Today we have a really cool interview with Fleur Shomo.
So here's the thing with this one is I enjoy their podcast.
Their podcast is My Top 5 Pod. So
I do enjoy their podcast. On the other hand, I don't necessarily enjoy the viewpoints
they make some choices.
on all their podcasts.
I'm gonna let you guys know right now, and like you too. Like Mike was very angry this episode. In this interview, he had
Hear
bones.
that?
He had bones. Bones to pick.
I had bones to
and
pick.
he picked them.
I did.
He picked them.
I mean, I say shit.
Yeah.
When I need to say shit.
He does. He does not hold back. And to her credit,
Oh no, she took it on all head on.
and she came right back. Right back. This is a little bit of a long episode. It's a little bit of a long interview. So we appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to it. If you need to spread it out over a couple episodes, it's totally fine. But honestly,
You want to listen to the whole thing.
it's
because,
a
like,
really good
cool.
interview. She's super cool. She was so fun to talk to. I can't wait till you'll hear it at the end. I totally book us on her podcast at the very end.
Well, let me check the calendar.
Well, I totally plant the seeds for booking us on the podcast. I'm the
Yeah,
seed
you planted
planter.
seeds.
You are the waterer of that seed.
Okay.
Right? You make things happen. I
Sure.
plant seeds.
Okay. Sure.
Right? That's
Uh-huh.
what I think.
Okay. That's
So
fine
hopefully
with
we'll
me.
be on her podcast. But she was on ours.
Yeah. Like she's got like she's like on a signed podcast.
Right.
But
Is a
Yeah.
signed podcast like a signed band?
God, I hope not.
I hope not too. I've been a signed band. It doesn't really do anything.
Yeah. Well, you like more in the nowadays, but
It doesn't do much. Really doesn't do much.
And now, like, well, we'll see. We'll see.
We will see. I think
either way.
podcasts might be different.
I think podcasts might be different.
Maybe.
Either way. By the way, you may notice by her accent, she might be British.
Might be British. coincidentally, after we did our British chips taste test,
Yeah.
which we do talk about chips and food and all that kind of stuff. We talk about a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. She's gluten free.
We didn't
But-
talk about that.
No, she's gluten free, but she loves French fries.
She does love French fries.
Doesn't like curly.
She
fries.
hates curly fries.
Fuck that.
Like with a passion, kind of. But she brought up a good point about the curly fries. I mean, you guys
Shut up, Jim.
Okay. All right. Well, you'll hear it. You'll hear it.
Anyway, just listen now.
So we're gonna go to her interview.
I'm not angry.
We're gonna go to her interview right now. Enjoy.
I love that you
that's the
do what
problem.
I do when I have to, I get a guest on and then we have to, if it's someone I don't know, we have to interact. And then I have to switch to the intro to the podcast. It's so funny. I love it.
Oh, yeah.
It's honestly, I've only ever been a guest on one other podcast. So it's just funny to hear the intro aspect from a different perspective.
From a different side.
I love it.
We've
Yeah.
actually, we've never been guests on anybody's podcast.
Like individually,
like as
like
far as
for our bands we
for our
have, but
podcast, for our bands we
for
have
the
and stuff.
podcast we have not.
But yeah, that's funny because I haven't even thought about that.
Well, it's because we were chatting and then you were like, "What's up?" I was like, "That's his podcast voice. I do the same thing."
I don't think. Do I have a podcast voice?
Kind of.
Because
Not as much.
all right. So
I'm a little
like
more
we're,
game showy than
we're
you.
like local band guys. So you always get we got these guys that have the hey. How are you guys?
Yeah.
Where it turns into the Sweet 16 DJ voice.
right.
And it's so
How's everybody doing tonight?
Long Island, New York, how are you doing? Dude, you live here.
Right.
Relax. Relax.
Is that where you guys are in
Yeah, we're in
New
Long
York?
Island.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
miss New York so much.
Yeah, we don't. You can have our spots if you want.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sure.
Ah. I fucking love
yeah.
New York.
Well, we're in Long Island, so it's not really
I love
Yeah,
it.
but it's not that fun.
New York adjacent.
It's not that far. It's true. That's
Yeah.
true. I love going.
Still the
into
same
New York.
state.
I hate coming
Well,
back.
Well, you're talking more like the city, and
Yeah, I'm
and-
talking Manhattan. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love Manhattan.
I've been to Long Island though.
Yeah, I when it especially when it comes to a show, I don't want to go to Manhattan. Fuck that.
I like
Oh, really? Why?
I like it.
Yeah, I
like
hate it. Hate it. It takes just as long to take the train and walk and this and that. It costs way more. The ticket price is way more. I went to a show. Actually, I saw a Day to Remember in Beartooth and
Oh, I was at that show.
um,
That's funny.
uh,
At Terminal 5.
I Prevail. No, I didn't go to Terminal 5. Fuck that.
Oh,
I
what
went.
was that?
I went to Mohegan Sun.
Oh, I wasn't
Okay.
at that. I don't know what Mohegan.
I went to Mohegan Sun. The
I love
ticket.
Terminal 5.
Fuck Terminal 5. I went to Mohegan Sun. I stayed overnight
You're
with my
full of
wife.
so much
I
rage.
didn't have the kids or anything. So we got to spend the night at Mohegan Sun, go to the show, eat meals, and it was cheaper than the ticket to go to Terminal fucking 5.
Where's Mohegan Sun though? That sounds like a
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
So it's about it was like a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
Which
We'll
isn't
get
terrible.
40-hour train up to Penn. Yeah, we'll get. As Price would say.
Yeah. Well, so fucking
So much anger.
But apparently, fuck Terminal 5. Yeah, fuck that place.
No, dude, that place sucks. They got that column right in the middle.
No, yeah, the layout is very
Yeah, the layout is
questionable.
pretty bad.
Yeah, I agree with that. But
Irving
last
Plaza.
time I was there, I was hammered.
Irving
I
Plaza.
did Irving, but
Webster
the
Hall.
floor is the floor at Irving is too skinny. People can't mosh.
Yeah, they have to.
And then Webster Hall, downstairs, too tiny. I was there for
Oh,
I
the
don't know if-
downstairs is small.
Yeah, I don't know. So hello, listeners. My husband is a man called Beartooth. They did a release show for their second album at the downstairs Webster Hall,
Oh yeah, that place.
and
is
they just did it for just they did one in LA, they did one in New York, whatever. They were just we just want somewhere tiny, just go nuts. I have never been so fucking sweaty my entire life, and everyone was going nuts because I think the night before Kanye had like done some secret show there or something. And so the whole place was just like on crazy lockdown because people were still showing up and they were like, dude, this was yesterday, calm down.
Right.
And then we went to the bar opposite called Black and White, and yeah, it's one of those nights where you're like, my hair is sweated off my head, I don't want to see people, but we have to, it's a launch party, let's just do this. But yeah, Webster Hall is tiny downstairs. I don't know if I've ever been upstairs at Webster Hall.
I saw a pretty cool spot.
I saw a silver chair up there.
Okay.
And that was a really good show.
Silver chair, wow.
I saw Guns N' Roses up there.
Oh, okay, show off.
How?
Yeah.
Well, he's like 87 years old.
I was going to say, how old are you?
So when Guns N' Roses were coming up,
because the last time I saw Guns N' Roses, he was overweight and terrible.
It was the Guns N' Roses that came back, the Chinese Democracy Guns N' Roses.
So it was Axl and Friends. It was not Guns N' Roses.
It was Axl.
Okay, that doesn't count.
Axl and Buckethead.
That doesn't count. Well, I mean, we've been well into this.
It was Axl Rose singing "Welcome to the Jungle." It counts.
I mean, I used to go to a festival in England called Reading Festival, and I remember them. They were headlining, and they came on like an hour late or something.
Oh yeah,
because he wasn't allowed to be woken up from his nap.
Right.
And so they cut the street because they have a time curfew.
Yeah.
So they had to cut it. And he was going nuts, and they were like, "Yeah, you should just woken up, you piece of shit."
Yeah, you should actually do your job.
Well, okay. So I feel like whatever just happened there should definitely stay in the episode.
We're in the episode.
We're in the episode.
We're already in.
There's no intro to this one.
So
yeah, there's no
for
intro,
anybody,
but you can do it now.
We're gonna do it. Yeah.
So for anybody who's wondering what they're listening to, even though we did an intro before this, welcome to Bacon's My Podcast, where it's our duty to disagree with personal preference.
You fuckers.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm suing you. I'm
sorry.
You.
We're here with Fleur Shomo from My Top 5 Pod, which is an awesome podcast where they get guests on and they go, hey, what do you want to talk about? Make a top 5 list. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And
super cool concept.
I love it. I love it.
What did that come out of? Like, was that the idea for the podcast, or was that just kind of like, hey, we do this to people all the time, and let's film it or let's record it?
No, my whole life, I think that everyone has a top 5. So my whole life, and I'm just talking like as a basic level, everyone has a top 5 celeb crushes. Like you just have them. You might like have some on the bench that you sub in every so often, but you have your top 5 set. You know who you love as a celeb crush. It kind of it wasn't off the idea of Friends, where Ross has a top 5 and he laminates it and it's a whole mess for him. But I've always grown up with the perception that I don't know if it's just me, because I've always been very celeb focused in my life as opposed to crushes. And so I've always been like, everyone has a top 5. No matter what they say, they have a top 5 crush. And so I would always be like, who's your top 5? And so I was originally going to start an app, which this is trademarked, everybody. You can't do this. Don't steal this idea from me.
We'll edit it out.
We'll edit it out.
No, you're fine. I don't give a shit. Okay. So I spoke to my friend. It's actually in production. Not really, but whatever. My friend, and I was like, everyone has a top 5. You know, I mean, think back to like MySpace, like your MySpace top 8.
Yeah.
Everyone has that. So I was like, I wanted to create an app. Hey, we're old. We have a MySpace top 8. Yeah. So you probably joined when it was like MySpace, like top 16 or 20 or something. You're probably that person. But
no, I'm pretty.
So I was like, I want to create an app where people can share their celeb top 5s, and they can have a sub bench and share it with their friends and all this kind of stuff. And then I was like, honestly, everyone just has a top 5 of a range of different shit in their life that they are really into. Because I have top 5s of so many different things. Obviously, I've had to think of more top 5s since the guests picked the top 5 subject. But straight off the bat, I was like, I have a top 5 episodes of this. I have top 5 songs of this. I have top 5 albums of this. And I was like, everyone in the entire universe has a top 5 of something. And so I was like, I think this could be a really good idea for a podcast. I went to my brother-in-law because Caleb is a great like guest co-host when he needs to be, but I knew he was going to be on tour all the time. So I was like, I can't make him a consistent host.
Right.
And so I asked his brother, because we're actually really close, like brother-in-law, sister-in-law dynamic. Like the four of us spend all our time together. We love spending time together. So shout out to Luke and Ali. Luke is my co-host. So I asked my brother-in-law if he would be the co-host, because he is ridiculously funny about the weirdest things. So I was just like, you're the guy. So,
Yeah.
and he was like, okay, if you want me to be. And I was like, absolutely, you're hilarious. So yeah, he said yes, and then it worked out.
Yeah, shout out to Luke, because quarantine baby, right?
Yeah, he just had a son called Ozzy 3 months ago now. He's still very new. Well, he might be older than that. I don't know what month it is. My
Still
time.
got that new baby smell going on.
I don't know what a new baby. I'm not so into babies, but he's pretty cool.
Neither am I.
Yeah, no, I got two of them, so like.
Oh, really? Good for you.
Yeah, they're older and smellier now, but but they once had a new baby smell.
You don't have the smelly kids. You don't have the smelly.
Yeah. Well,
that's okay if they're smelly.
He doesn't
That's
see
fine.
them all the time. He doesn't know what fucking
All right,
song
yeah,
it is.
Yeah. No,
my
but
son,
you know.
my son is turning 8. He's 8,
Oh, okay.
and he fucking smells sometimes. like
Wait
after,
till he hits 13.
Yeah, I know.
Right,
Like
yeah.
after Taekwondo, he's got like, because they do
Oh,
sparring and stuff,
Taekwondo, Jesus.
and like he does like the headgear, and man, he stinks. So
Yeah, I mean headgear and stuff. No,
Yeah.
thanks.
but
Not for me.
Yeah, like that's super cool. You know, Luke is very passionate about like the sports stuff.
Oh
And I
yeah,
love how
yeah.
like in a lot of the episodes, I love how he doesn't necessarily know about the subject, and he really leans into that. Like, I don't know, I'm just gonna kind of like, I'm gonna take some artistic license with some of this.
Yeah, he does that a lot. So I deal with all the booking and emailing and figuring out subjects because sometimes people will be like, I've got a few in mind. What do you think about this? And I'll be like, okay, this is the best one. Like we just had a guest who's from a TV show, and she was sending over like 20 options. And then the next day was like, wait, I've just thought about this. And I was like, okay, calm down. We'll hone in on this one and change it slightly. And then she replied and was like, see, this is why you do what you do. Because I was like, okay, we just need to tighten this up and do this one. So I do that. And then I just throw it at Luke and like, we're doing this. And he's like, okay. I will say that we do try, like I always say to our guests, please try not to make it too personal, because we have to also do the top 5, which makes it a little bit more difficult, because sometimes people might want to be like top 5 experiences to do with this certain subject, or top 5 this of this of this. And I'm like, okay, we haven't lived through that. I never say that to them, but in my head, I'm like, we haven't lived through that. So how can we adjust this slightly that we can do a version of this? But we have always spoken about the fact that if someone comes up with a subject that we just can't relate to in any way, that we'll be like, this is a great subject. For this episode, I'm just going to do this. And we're just going to do a random topic that isn't anything to do with the chosen topic, which I don't know when this episode's coming out, but we're recording one on Sunday. And I've already had to choose a different, completely random subject that our guest does not know about, that I'm just going to spring on them and just be like, this is great for you two because it works for him and Luke. Yeah. And I'll be like, I'm just going to do this.
Nice.
So yeah, no, it can throw up like awkward, like, can we tweak it slightly? But yeah, Luke, bless him, I'm just always like, we're recording on this day. This is the guest. This is the background. You probably already know about them. And this is the subject we're doing. Good luck.
Now, how did you land on the? Because I can imagine, like, was that the idea of how to get the topics right off the bat? Like, we'll have them send us this many, or did you try it a couple different ways that kind of didn't work, and then tried to make it work, or what was the way to make that? Because again, like you said, they're going to come up with a million different things, or sometimes having somebody else come up with something is maybe they're not good at coming up with stuff, and you're kind of walking them through things. How did you go about kind of?
It's honestly kind of funny because most of our guests immediately know, because like I said, everyone has a subject they're passionate about, and they're like, oh, I have a top 5 of this, and you're like, okay, yeah, I could make that work. It's honestly like the more famous, like the TV movie people that are the most ambivalent. They're like, oh, we could do this and this and this, and they've like kind of float through topics, and you have to just ground them and be like, okay, we're doing this, calm down, this is going to be fine.
Right.
Yeah, it's funny. Like a lot of people will immediately reply with, let's do this or this, and we'll just pick one of the two. So it's honestly been quite easy. It's very rare that you get someone that is suggesting either one that you have no idea about and you're like, oh, try again, or like 5 that are like, do any of these apply? Like, it's honestly been quite easy. Like, it sounds like it wouldn't be, and sometimes I do have to push, but more than anything, like I said, people already know what they're really passionate about, and they already have a top 5 in mind.
Right. Well, I like the topic a lot just because, we kind of approach our show in a very kind of like, hey, we're talking to somebody interesting. We're not trying to hit a time thing. We're not trying to hit like we have to hit these questions or anything like that. It's like, let's ask a few things, but if the answer to a question opens up something, let's pivot and let's talk about that, or let's figure out what they're interested in. And I'm way more interested, like we both are, anybody that we talk to, we're way more interested in finding out what they're into versus what they're promoting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So that's like how I that's how I frame my emails to everybody. Like if I'm emailing agents or managers or publicists, my frame is always like everybody, like not like everybody has a top 5, but we want to do this as not a boring standard interview. This is a chance for your person to talk about something they actually want to talk about, what they love, which is funny because a lot of the time the TV people, they're like, they're not doing any promo right now, so come back in 3 months or something. And I'm like, I don't care if they're promoting
we don't need
anything.
I
want to know about them. Yeah.
Right.
But
I gotta tell you, I gotta tell you, like, because I'm the one sending those emails.
Yeah.
And
like, it's tiresome.
Sometimes like you get people who are just like, nope, they're not doing anything. I was like, and it's like, well, PR agents especially.
Yeah, especially.
It's just like, it's like, cool, they're not doing anything, but you're obviously getting paid to do something.
Right.
So who do you have that is interested in doing some PR work?
Like, it's honestly,
you gotta like pull it out of them.
And honestly, also, especially like during Corona, I was like, nobody's doing anything. Like,
right.
It's who is?
Well, see,
nobody's releasing anything.
Does anybody like to talk about themselves? I bet they do.
100%. Especially if they're in Hollywood, they love it.
Yeah.
Right. It's so funny because like I almost found like all of a sudden, boom, out of nowhere. Like we didn't really start this as like, let's have guests.
Right. Yeah.
We didn't. Like we had his girlfriend on once and that was it. And all of a sudden I was just like, screw it out. Like this person has a contact on their Instagram. I'll just email.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a PR agent that they deal with. And then like, I just got the ball rolling. But like COVID, it just seemed like everybody wanted to talk about shit. For us.
Well, people like to talk. People like to meet people. People like to. We were all stuck inside.
It was for a little while. Yeah, we started the podcast. It wasn't originally for that, and then we got into that. I
feel like
it was like human interaction was like important to people.
Well, that's what I like about your topics is that it can be, your top 5, they're not just going to list off their top 5 and then, okay, roll credits. It's like you're going to say something and it's going to invite discussion because someone's going to disagree, or someone's going to be like, "You're out of your mind," or someone's going to be like, "I didn't even think of that."
I sometimes feel guilty because sometimes we have guests and I'm like, I don't think they knew that we were also doing our top 5. And so they're like super famous people. I'm like, yeah, we're also, you're going to have to listen to us. So,
right. Yeah. This
but
is two-way.
we also like, I decided that was going to be a thing because I wanted it to, so guests could get to know us too. We didn't want to just be like, tell us this.
Right.
And then just have the person talk, because I was like, otherwise we're not going to be people that people care about, which obviously isn't that important. But I was like, I feel like when it comes to that stuff, when you look at like Graham Norton or Jonathan Ross or Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, they're just as important as the guests because they're hilarious. They take part in what happens.
Yeah.
And I was like, if we want to make this not about us, but if we don't want to make it 20 minutes and just about what they're going to talk about, then we need to also be participating and doing our top 5, which is probably selfish and self-promoting, and no one gives a shit what we're saying.
No, you know what? I will disagree because I think that
especially now,
you're absolutely right. Like if you just have them on and they talk about themselves, then whoever's interested in them is going to come on the show and listen to it and check it out, and then they have no reason to ever come back.
Yeah.
Right.
But
if they know a little bit about you and they like your
and plus
style,
I'm hilarious, so
exactly.
You're hilarious, but you piss me off sometimes. I have some bones to pick with you.
Oh, I'm good for this. Do it. I will fight it. Let's go.
It is bone picking time. All right.
I'm so up for bone picking because but like I said, it's our duty to disagree with personal preference. So I am down for the disagreeing. Always love it. People rarely do it on our show, and I so want it to happen. So go for it.
So it particularly happens. We're big comic book nerds.
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I think I'll make you happy with what you're going to say next.
She's like,
some of them.
No,
no. There's more than one.
Okay.
One. Yeah. Don't worry. And then there's also something that you've said recently on social media that got a problem with.
You're so mad today.
Oh,
I love it because I'm usually the mad one, so I'm all about being mad. So let it out, man. Let it out.
So aggressive.
We will argue. I will love it.
It's great.
Fleur.
Yeah.
Spider-Man sucks. Come on.
I mean, come on. No, I mean, come on. Tobey Maguire? Come on.
Well, no. Not Tobey Maguire. Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. No, I don't mean Spider-Man. I meant like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
You said Peter Parker.
I mean, okay. No, you're right. I did say he's like a loser that gets bitten by a spider and thinks he's cool. Very true. But I will give it to you that like, Into the Verse or Into the Universe, what's it called? I can't even remember now. Yeah. Into the Spider-Verse. Love that.
Such a good movie.
All the Tobey Maguire shit, get rid of that. I'm just not about like
I don't like emo suit Tobey Maguire.
No, nobody does. Did anybody like that? Yikes.
But Tobey Maguire's
nobody
not
likes
Spider-Man.
No.
Tobey Maguire's not Spider-Man, but he's a good Peter Parker.
But the concept of Spider-Man.
Well, yeah, because he's a loser.
You're saying like a loser,
but that's what he's supposed to be.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I'm just like, ugh.
How does Spider-Man suck over because Spider-Man to me is the anti-Superman.
Right.
Superman.
Well, I never was out there being like, I love Superman.
Well, no. Yeah, she's.
Well, no, I'm just saying like if to me personally, if I'm looking at what makes this character good and what makes this character boring or bad. If I look at Superman, I'm bored out of my mind because
absolutely.
He has no weaknesses except a rock from his planet. Cool.
A rock that glows green.
Yeah, a glowing green rock kills him, but other than that, no one can touch him. He's absolutely perfect. His life is perfect. He has no problems. Dude is just he's acting like a loser. Because he's like, I'm so perfect, I have to act ridiculous to make anybody believe for a second that I'm human. Like,
yeah,
that's kind of
I get it. So two things I'm kind of like, it's weird because right now me and Caleb literally started the Marvel universe. We were like, we've never done this. Let's do it in chronological order.
Where are you guys at?
We're currently at Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Oh, this is one of my. That's probably my favorite.
It's a great one.
Yeah,
honestly.
that's a ton of people say that, and I'm honestly loving it. But I was kind of like, so far, none of the like, except for Thor, I think that none of them are just born the way they are.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of blows my mind because I never really thought about it. And Spider-Man belongs in that because, yeah, Superman is also like Thor from another planet.
Right.
Has the superpowers.
Right.
Because he's from another planet. And I never really thought about it. But anyone that's from here that is a superhero has somehow something has happened to them to make them that way. But Spider-Man, I'm kind of like, I'm also in this camp of, yeah, they need to be made, but also why do they always choose the person, except for like Wolverine, love of my life, that I'm like, it's always like someone that has to be like hard done by or is a bit of a loser, and they suddenly this has happened to them, and I'm like, okay, enough. Like, I know they're writing it for like the nerds and all those people. But, you know, sometimes someone can be cool and something cool happens to them and they become a superhero, like Wolverine.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true.
You know what?
Like Spider-Man, I get it.
I get your, okay. I get your argument there.
Well, he was the first.
He was the first, like,
every
loser.
Other hero that has, like.
Wolverine was a
mutant
before he was.
He
like,
was,
a
yes.
supermutant.
Yes.
And they, like, excelled it to
Experimented
be
on,
amazing.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so a lot of them, like,
you've
okay, no,
explained
wait.
yourself.
So Captain America, which I didn't realize, the CGI is over the top in the first Captain America. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
But he's like this tiny, scrawny thing. And I'm like, his head is so big for
With
his
a
body.
giant head,
Why did they do
Pretty
this?
great.
And then obviously he becomes his like giant self. But I'm like, okay, it's always got to be this like down on his luck kid. And I get it, it's the audience, but I'm like, come on. Like, it's okay for someone like cool that isn't mean, but is still a good person that's cool to have a fucking exceptional ability.
Okay. I'm going to skip to question number to gripe number 3 out of 4.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I'm opinionated, everybody.
While Storm is not awesome.
No.
Thank you.
She's
really
not the
not.
worst X-Men.
Okay, who is the worst X-Men? Because you might be going for like a
Cyclops.
deep.
Without
okay,
question.
yeah, no, I could agree with that. I think
He's a
they're on a
douchebag.
par. One, he's the dick, and two, I have a beam that I can just release. Fuck off.
Right.
Yeah, no, I
I'm
think
with that.
they're
All
equal because Storm is like, she's kind of actually very similar that I've noticed to is Thor. She like whips up a storm,
Right.
except she doesn't have the cool, device to throw at someone's head.
Right. And
She
he
just
doesn't
has
drink
lightning.
a lot of beer.
Yes.
Yeah, same. So it's like, no, throw them in the bin together, set them on fire. It's fine. We'll do without them.
Okay. All right. Then you know what? I'll get to number 2 then.
Okay.
Oh.
Number 2, because I like.
Well,
when-
number 4
these
is
ranked?
important.
Are these
Number 4 is
ranked in
important. So do we go with
seriousness?
number
Is this
2?
a top 5
we do
of
number 4?
seriousness?
He only picked 4. I thought it was when I saw 4 numbers there. I was like, really? You're not going to go for the 5?
I know. I was
you
like,
have a
why
number
is
You're
there
5?
a
not
5?
going to go for the 5.
You have a number 5?
You should have had a top 5.
I should
Yeah,
have.
you should have.
But
to
I
be
don't.
fair. That's poor planning.
But
lazy booking, my friend.
It's not lazy booking. It's I agree with some of the things that she says. That's all.
Yeah, I'm awesome. It's fine.
She's pretty awesome. So should I go to number 2 or should I leave the superhero realm?
Not. We're already there. We're in it.
We're
Okay,
there.
go
Let's discuss
first.
it. Okay.
Batmobile sucks. Come on.
See,
I mean, I feel
like it's a specific Batmobile.
Yeah.
it, or
Okay.
just in
So
general?
I'm thinking like Val Kilmer era. When you,
Is that an
I don't,
era?
I don't.
Okay.
Stop talking about it being
Question
an era.
over.
Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer era.
No, the Michael
Wait,
Keaton
wait,
one
wait,
was
wait.
great.
No, I don't mean how cool it looks. I mean literally, like, because it was the 90s. When
Yeah.
it's on video, it literally looks like you could just like blink at it and it would fall apart. It's going down a road and the plastic is going.
The plastic is moving. Yeah, it's like
Ridiculous.
the George Clooney one when it freezes
Oh, I
and
never
they open
saw
the
it.
door and the ice is wobbly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw the George Clooney one
What
because
the hell is that?
I fucking hate George Clooney. But I never saw that one. But I mean, modern Batman, it's slick as
Is
shit.
that number 5 for you?
No.
Oh, you're upset
modern
about George
Batman.
Clooney.
I am not. At
Modern Batman, it looks amazing. Like the bike in The Dark
Yes.
Knight is so cool.
Super cool. Yeah.
Like when he's like
And
going in the
Tumbler.
underground,
The Tumbler's
and
great.
so good. But
Yeah.
old Batman, it's rickety, and he's like, "This is what I've got," and it's like, If I
What
was
about, like,
I was a woman in that era and he's trying to impress me, I'd be like, "Okay, you stuck some plastic on a Lamborghini. Good for you.
Okay.
You've ruined
All right.
the Lamborghini."
How do you feel about like really old school Batman, like the TV show Batman? That
Adam West.
Yeah, like the Adam West. Like I know that car. Just I don't know why I know that car, but I know that I grew up knowing that car. You know.
I don't remember it that much.
It was
I'm
cool
sorry.
looking. No,
Yeah, I'm
he's
sure we're
very
probably
tight.
the same age, but I distinctly remember like the Adam West Batman. I just don't remember the car. So,
was
did
really
it shake
cool.
a lot? Did it shake a lot?
It didn't shake a lot because
Oh
they
no.
didn't show it a lot. They just showed it like driving away, and it had the
they
jet
just showed
engine in
the
back.
dust.
The
They
fire
just
came
showed
out
the
of the back
dust.
of it, which I thought was pretty badass.
That's
But,
pro move.
Here we
Don't
go.
show the mistakes. Show the
Don't
danger.
show the mistakes. Yeah, exactly. I agree with that 100%. 100%. I always thought like the original Batmobile was a really cool looking car. I
think they've had
number
some
of people have bought like replicas of it and stuff that I've seen.
They've done a lot of artistic license with it on every movie, and sometimes I think it's a big hit and miss, and sometimes it looks great. So yeah.
I mean, you look at '90s stuff, and it's clearly.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Batman Forever is one of the best Batmans. Because before you judge me, because I was very young, and it was
judging.
It was the first Batman I saw because I was young.
Okay.
And I loved the Riddler. I was all about the Riddler. And Tommy Lee Jones, fucking loved Tommy. That Batmobile is sick.
Right?
Like, I know that my husband would literally buy that right now.
That's amazing looking.
Yeah, that is amazing. Yeah, now look up Batman Forever Batmobile.
Oh,
and it rattling as it drove away down, like, just not even fast, just down a country lane.
Don't hit any bumps or everything's going to shake.
Yeah, literally. But no, so Batman Forever was the first Batman I ever saw because I was young. Okay. And I love Tommy Lee Jones. I love Jim Carrey.
Yeah,
and
great.
It looked sick, but it literally rattled in every take.
Terrible.
Like the back bat bit swang so much, and I was like, this thing is going to fall apart. You don't even have to throw a firebomb at it. You could just breathe on it. It's falling apart.
Yeah, that's pretty.
But no, I loved Batman Forever. The one after that with George Clooney, I never saw because I was like, I was over it by that point. Because then I retro watched all the Michael Keaton and loved him, and then the Arnold Schwarzenegger Iceman or whatever it was, Mr. Frosty or whatever. Terrible. Never saw it. Never saw it.
Chill.
That was that is one of the worst movies of all time.
Oh, 100%.
Chill. But
I watched it over
Arnold's
COVID
great.
because
because you wanted to hate yourself.
Because my girlfriend had never seen all of them, and she was like, I feel like I should see all the Batman movies because she's a Batman fan. And I was like, I don't know if you should see all of them.
Wait, how could she be a Batman fan and not have seen all of them?
Because she was a huge fan of Dark Knight.
She was like, I saw Dark Knight and I love
best
Batman.
one.
Like,
Okay.
Batman Begins and Dark Knight was huge for her, and she read some stuff and read some graphic novels, and she really liked the Michael Keaton ones, but then she had never seen the George Clooney, and she had never seen Batman Forever. Those two that she didn't see.
Yeah.
So she was like, okay, I feel like I need to see them all, and I was like,
I mean, Danny DeVito as Penguin, mind blowing.
that was
Well, that was
awesome.
great.
So good.
That was
I
awesome.
loved how dark they were, and honestly, I got really excited about the next phase because Robert Pattinson, I'm like, oh, could it work? But then they released the trailer, and it's the new
he's-
Riddler,
Yeah.
who I forget his name, but I just watched him in something else. And they were playing like Nirvana, Something in the Way, and I was like, this is
Yeah.
going to be dark
It's gonna be
and-
so good
and murderous, and I love it.
I'm psyched. Colin
I'm
Farrell
so
looks
excited.
crazy as the Penguin.
Yeah, he doesn't even look.
It
he's
does
Was
not
he in
like
the
it.
trailer?
Yeah,
He's not recognized.
Oh.
He's completely,
not at all.
They
He's-
changed his
He's
face.
Oswald Cobblepot.
Wow.
They changed his face,
Yeah.
and he gained a bunch of weight and everything. But like,
Yeah.
they should win something for his prosthetics. Because
I tell you who it was
it's
that
crazy.
who was it that was playing the Riddler? I just watched a movie that was really dark and it was about like kidnapping kids. I can't remember. Anyway, let's move on. That sounds really gross
Okay.
and
Okay,
very psychopathic.
Number 4. Number 4.
He's mad again. He's
my
mad
wife
again.
and
Look
I.
at him.
No. I'm just
No,
saying.
it's fine.
My
I'm
wife
always
and I,
mad.
we watch like a lot of like Evil Lives Here. So like
You watch a lot of what? Sorry.
Evil Lives Here. It's a great
Oh,
show
Evil Lives Here. I thought you said Evil Lives. I
Discovery
was like, calm down.
on Investigation Discovery.
Oh
I
my
know
God! Don't even get me started on
Oh.
Investigation Discovery.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Woo!
Listen. Oh, it's a great show, but way off that. Number 4, my gripe, Fleur.
Oh.
What the fuck is wrong with curly fries?
I love that you went from Investigation Discovery to Curly Fries. First of all, before I go to Curly Fries, Investigation Discovery had a TV show called See No Evil, which was about CCTV that had solved crimes.
Oh,
Chilling.
yeah, that was a good one. That's a great one. That's a great one.
Chilling.
But
I
they
remember-
stopped doing episodes after a little while, so I stopped watching.
Because everyone was so scared. I would watch it, and honestly, if you're listening, don't go to a Target by yourself because you're going to get abducted in the car park.
Yep.
True story. True
Or
story.
Or
True story.
Casino as well.
Oh, Casino, truly. Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, honestly, like Investigation Discovery, I was watching See No Evil, and See No Evil is about how CCTV has solved missing people or just crimes in general, and it would show footage, like real life footage leading up to and after and whatever of the crime, and how they like obviously solved it. And some of them I for some reason I do this to myself, and Caleb will be on tour, and obviously I have Rafi, who is 140 pounds and ready to demolish you if you try and break into our house. I promise you. He will definitely murder you. He's even bit one of our friends, so don't think you're safe. But I would watch this when he was on tour because he's not into this stuff. He doesn't like all the dark stuff. He's like, why do you have to listen to and watch and read about everything about serial killers and murderers? Why do you do this? This is
so interesting.
horrifying.
It's
I
super
think it's
interesting.
so interesting,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
he
it's
is very scared of
incredibly
the fact
interesting.
that I do that. And so I'd watch it when he was on tour, and it would be like someone was cycling home, and the footage would show them cycling past an intersection and showing someone driving up, and they were meant to go straight, and then they put on their brake lights and turn to follow the person. And I'm like, if that person had cycled like 10 minutes later, they'd still be alive. Like it was chilling. It was chilling.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I was like, I need to stop watching this because I know it's all about timing in life, and what will be horrifying. What was the original question? I hate curly fries.
The original, yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, why?
Terrible.
Why?
Okay,
What's wrong with
no,
them? What the?
No, listen to this. It's because
Right.
I am a fry lover.
I know you're
Connoisseur.
a connoisseur.
Potatoes with everything. Potatoes in every meal. If you're not putting a potato on something, you're doing something wrong. Caleb likes rice on the side of stuff, and I'm like, why would you do that? There is a potato right there. No, curly fries, they cook unevenly. You get a super crispy end, and then the bit that's twirled is usually, because the end is crispy, undercooked. They're usually coated in some kind of chunky, floury grossness that is like, this is flavoring for a curly fry. Terrible, terrible.
So
So
what's
many
your-
better fries out there.
What's your feeling on waffle fries?
They're good. They're good. They
No,
cook
you know
evenly.
what?
They cook
I
evenly.
feel like you gotta come to New York, and you gotta go to like a diner. Long Island, go to a diner, get some curly fries. That's where it's
She's
real.
not wrong about the middle of a curly fry.
No, okay, if you go to an Arby's,
A middle of a curly fry
No,
is going to be
if you
soggy
go to an
wherever you
Arby's.
go. I
Yeah.
like a crispy fry.
no, you got to go to the right diner. You got to go to a good diner in New York.
I will trust you if you can send me a photo of a curly fry where the middle looks just as crisp. If it looks like
Challenge
super burn,
accepted.
if it looks like super burn and then just about cooked, that's a fucking curly fry. So I will accept that photo whenever you want to send it.
Challenge accepted.
So what's
Done.
as a fry connoisseur? What's your favorite kind of French fry? Are you
Yeah,
are
that's
you
super
are you like
important.
a steak cut fry? Are you a thin fry? Are you like a
I am the best chip, as I would call it,
fair? Okay.
in the entire world is a chip shop chip. And you will never change my mind on that. There's no replica in America. So don't even pretend like you've had it unless you've been to the UK.
All right. So explain it. Explain it.
There's no way to explain it. I literally can't. And every time someone's like, this place does fish and chips, I'm like, well, that's great. The fish looks kind of similar. The chips are all wrong. All wrong. We have a different kind of potato in England called a Maris Piper, which you don't get here, which is potatoes are potatoes, I think, but chefs would 100% disagree with me.
Right.
A
starch content.
Yeah, 100%. But, and, you know, I don't know what it is. They like freeze it and fry it, and I can't even explain it, but I am craving it so much because I haven't been able to go to England in a year and a half. And there is not an equivalent in America. I love skinny fries, like proper fries.
Mm-hmm.
I could eat piles of for days.
Yeah.
Crinkle fries could eat piles of for days.
Crinkle fries are fantastic.
Yeah, I fucking love crinkle fries. I don't know why everyone hates them. Yeah, we have an air fryer.
Oh, that's the greatest thing ever, right?
Yeah.
Ooh, best thing in the world.
That's yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Steak cut I can do in the right mood. They're fine.
Yeah.
I never buy curly fries, soz. I don't even know what other options there are. Chunky fries, they're not the same thing.
Why not?
Tater tots.
Yeah, tater tots I enjoy, but it's not a
Tater tots
fry.
are great
Like,
because, because you. But to me, they have to be like super well done.
Oh
They have to
yeah,
be,
yeah.
like,
Oh yeah,
I agree with
super
that.
crispy on
dark
the outside.
brown, super crispy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you
Potatoes are so important.
like breakfast?
Do
Hash
I like
browns?
breakfast? Oh
No. I'm
There's
saying
gotta be more to this.
potatoes. Hash browns or home fries?
I would probably go. Oh, you know what? It's the same thing. It depends on the place because hash browns
Hash
in
browns are
America
shredded.
sometimes in America it's like cooked on the outside and then like kind of raw in the middle. Not like raw, but like
Yeah.
not good on the middle.
I get it.
Well,
As
to
long
us-
as they're like thin enough, hash browns definitely over home fries. But I love a cube potato that is cooked in yumminess. So look, any type of potato, if you're cooking it right, I'm gonna eat it.
Okay.
Literally,
so-
I have potato with pretty much every meal, and my husband mind is blown
Potatoes are
from that
delicious.
because I don't really eat rice. I am a huge lover of pasta, always have been, but potato is my one true love.
I like a good jasmine rice though.
Oh no.
Oh no!
If you gave me the
No.
choice,
oh no!
Well,
I'll eat
well,
rice.
jasmine
because
rice
okay,
is the shit.
no, I
But
get it,
Potatoes are delicious,
but in England, Indian food, amazing, far superior than here. Like I have tried multiple places where I am here. I haven't tried it in New York yet, so I need to. But there is much better vegetable side dishes for Indian food than just jasmine rice. Like my favorite is called a sagali, which is potato, spinach, onion, garlic, and it is fabulous. And you don't really get it in America. It's not really a side dish here. And I'm like, no.
I feel like jasmine rice is so big in America because I feel like American dishes are designed to be bland. They're like let's make it so
I
that
honestly-
everyone can eat it, and if they want something crazy like salt, they can put it on themselves.
Well, honestly, I would agree to an extent. As long as it's got sugar and fat in it, then America's on the whole happy.
It's
And
true,
it's kind of mind blowing to me that some dishes I'm like, really? You think this is good?
We've been
But
doing,
I'm from England, so you guys have always ripped our food apart. So
well,
it's
yeah, but
probably the same.
we've been doing like we have our we have a Patreon. Thank you to all of our patrons. Bacon's
Hi,
podcast.
Patreon.
But we have a Patreon where we do like a separate show called Tasting is My Passion, where we just try
Oh,
all kinds
nice.
of things. And one of the things we've been doing recently is doing like snack foods, chips, things like that from other countries. And so we'll order
We
stuff
did-
and have it sent
We
here.
did
and then-
chips from England.
yeah,
actually.
and we did potato chips from England,
We did. What was it? It was.
and they were like
they were great.
all the food we're eating
except
from
for,
everywhere else is so
there
much
was one.
better than the equivalent here,
There was one that was
Yeah.
not very good.
right?
Well,
Like,
we had in England like the crisps that we have way more flavors. Like here, you tend to be
absolutely
like sour
we do,
cream
yeah.
and cheese,
Right.
cheese, sour cream and cheese and chive, sour cream and chive. And I'm like, oh my God, enough with the fucking cheese. Like there's a world out there.
We okay. So
It's
the first
all
thing
cheddar.
I will say,
It's all cheddar.
roasted chicken.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
we
my
good.
favorite.
The roasted
So
chicken
good.
chips.
My favorite.
Oh my god.
The other day, I was in the store and I was really upset I couldn't get smoky bacon crisps. I don't know why. Out of nowhere, I got
we had
such a
smoked
craving.
bacon.
we
we
had
had the
those.
smoked
Such
bacon.
craving for them. I
Oh,
was
so
we
good.
did Amazon. We did it. We did
like,
it.
so good, so
Oh,
fucking
man.
good. What was the
And
one
now
you
I'm
hated?
disappointed that we didn't send her
Yeah,
some.
we'll send you a
Yeah,
link.
you should have sent me some, you bastards. What
We'll
it,
send-
what was the
sorry.
one you hated?
Prawn
Yeah,
cocktail.
we didn't
Oh,
hate
prawn
it.
cocktail.
We
Yeah.
didn't hate
Well,
it.
it's
but it was-
honestly like it's called prawn
It was like
cocktail.
ketchup.
Which, yeah, I hate fish and anything to do with fish. So I would normally be like, yes, prawn cocktail, yeah. But it's actually just mostly paprika. So yeah, it's pretty much similar. And we have ketchup crisps in the UK. So
Yep.
it's well, at least we used to. I don't know if we do anymore, but very similar, very similar. Not fishy at all. I didn't
actually
think.
just I sent him. I'm trying to find out where to order it. Is grilled cheese and tomato soup cheese puffs.
Oh, is that a British thing?
I don't know if it's a British thing. or
I
not,
saw
but
there was a
I
Lay's
found
thing
it.
that
I
was
saw
grilled
it.
cheese and probably soup, but I think
Fuck
that was like a
Lay's.
Lay's. Probably Canada. Probably Canada.
probably Canada, yeah, because
Those Canadians, because in England we don't call it a grilled cheese, so it must be Canada because they're like half American, half English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you call a grilled cheese in Canada?
I mean, in Canada. I beg your pardon.
Last guess. We know that.
Fuck Pima. We do it differently, but we call it a cheese toasty.
I like that better.
I like that so much better.
That's more
It's
inviting.
that's
Like,
the word I was looking for was inviting.
yeah,
and-
like
and
if
that's
someone,
exactly
if
it.
someone was like,
So
Hey, bud.
inviting.
"Would you like a cheese toasty?" I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, I would."
Yes.
And if someone's like, "Hey, you want a grilled cheese?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah."
And we have like a
course.
special machine for it and stuff. We don't just do it in a pan.
No, we have the machine.
Yeah, you have the press thing,
The machine,
but no
sucks
one really ever uses
sucks.
it.
The panini
Yeah.
press.
because it sucks.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not a panini press. It literally has like the triangles laid out and like puts marks on them
really?
and stuff. Yeah, oh yeah, it's super jazzy.
Yeah, I got one of those.
You got one of those?
Oh, he got one.
No, I don't have one at my house.
Oh, okay. I'll send you one.
Fuck that.
You know,
Oh,
you know
okay.
what?
I'm
I
not
have-
sending you one.
you
No,
probably have.
my mom has one.
I would
have-
try
my
it.
mom
I
has
would
one.
try it.
And
Yeah,
it's like
maybe it's a
they
thing.
it
You
like
never
kind
know,
of takes the crust off, but doesn't really. And
Oh, but then you peel the crust off and you dip it in brown sauce.
brown
HP
Gravy.
sauce, mate. No,
And
not
brown-
gravy.
I love steak sauce. I love
No, oh come on, it's not the same thing.
Is HP is
Oh, that's what I think when I think brown sauce. I think gravy.
No, it's not steak sauce. No,
no, not
No.
steak
HP
sauce.
steak sauce. HP is steak sauce.
no, it's not.
Gravy.
Am I?
It's not gravy and it's not steak sauce.
gravy.
I'm just gonna log off, so that's fine. Okay, see you later.
I was thinking like brown sauce, like what's on a poutine.
No, that's gravy.
Gravy.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
so
that's
what's-
just brown gravy.
So what's brown sauce?
Do me
I
a
don't
favor.
know. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Ex-
okay.
Explain brown sauce. I'm gonna have him read this.
Okay.
Okay, brown sauce
That's
is a spicy breakfast sauce.
Okay.
It's not spicy. It's kind of just like that you have with breakfast. It's like a brown version of ketchup, but more flavor and a bit tart and a bit
So
spicy,
vinegary,
and used in Houses of Parliament. That's what
Right.
HP stands for.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
cool. Okay.
very, very, very much steak sauce.
Well,
Anyway,
we don't put it on steak because we're not savages, but
Well,
we'll
we
go.
don't put it
no.
on.
You don't put
it on
steak
steak
sauce
either.
on steak.
Why
Come
is it
on.
fucking called steak sauce then? You
Well, because you got to
heathens?
sell it to ham and eggers.
You don't put steak sauce on steak. If you're
Okay,
buying the
and
right
that-
steak, you don't need.
And
steak
yes, for all of you
sauce.
listening, if you put
100%.
steak sauce on your steak, I just called you a ham and egger.
Yeah, I mean,
And
if
the
you put any sauce on steak, then you're a fucking savage.
You put
If it's a
anything on
good
steak-
steak,
Other than salt, pepper, and garlic butter.
Garlic.
I got some kind of herby butter.
Yeah,
Then yes,
but I'll
or
base the
truffle
steak-
butter or
Oh,
whatever.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%. But no, as a ketchup lover, if I'm putting that on steak, then the steak is not good. So,
Yeah.
well, were there any other gripes that you had that you were mad at me
What were
about?
your- yeah,
No,
what were
those are the four.
He's small.
Okay.
He's fierce.
Yeah, just the curly fries that you were most livid about.
Otherwise, I enjoy your podcast.
Is that how we're ending? Okay, thanks. Bye.
No, we got lots of questions.
Oh shit. Okay, we should move on then. I feel like I've just been talking nothingness for so long. I'm sorry.
Welcome to Bacon is My Podcast. This is what we do. We just make friends and we talk about whatever comes up.
Oh, God.
We may have 10 questions ready, but if the first one takes an hour, then we did one question. That's how it goes.
And that's
how it works.
fine. And that is fine.
Now, one thing I did notice, just from like kind of going through your Twitter a little bit, is that you are a Supernatural fan.
Oh my God. So bad.
And I am a Supernatural fan.
I've
You're the
watched
first person I've got to talk to.
Oh my God.
Wait. I'm gonna preface this as I've only watched like the first like 4 or 5 seasons.
Carry on my wayward son.
There'll be peace when you are done. So good.
It's so fucking good. And honestly, if you've only watched the first like 4 or 5 seasons, you've already seen one of the best episodes of all time, which is where you would get scared to death. And Dean opened a cupboard and there was a cat there and he goes,
Oh,
I was gonna ask, like, do you have a favorite season? Do you have like a favorite villain? Do you prefer when they were doing like a season-long arc, or did you like the few seasons? I think it was like maybe season 10 or 11 where it was just kind of like they went back to the
individual. Yeah.
individual monsters.
So there's a couple of seasons where they do they have obviously like the overwhelming like season arc, but
Right.
then they'll like remind you that they're doing that, but an episode is going to be individual. So they'll be like, wow, we've got no leads on chasing down this person, but I did find this case, and you're like, yes.
Right.
Because I really love an individual episode where something really creepy is happening and they're chasing it, and I'm like, I am all about this. And then the last few episodes of a season is going to be all wrapped up in the overall arc. I just finished season, I want to say 11, where the darkness was coming. I'm sorry if you're listening, you don't watch this, but it is fucking fantastic. And
Yes,
honestly, one of my best friends was watching it for so long, and I was like, I'm not going to watch that cheesy shit. I was like, I like scary stuff. Give me something scary to watch. And she was like, it's really scary. And I was like, she's a bit of a pussy. So I was like, okay, it's not. And then I was like, every morning I run on the treadmill. After I take my dog for a run, I get on the treadmill for a bit, and I need like a 45-minute show. And I love ER, so that was it for a while. Then I did something else for a while. I can't remember what it was. And then I was like, do you know what? There's like 15 seasons. I'm just going to start Supernatural. And I did it, and I just got obsessed.
Yeah.
And for a while, I was like, I'll watch it on the treadmill. And then I was like, this is too good. I just need to keep watching it during the day, like during my dinner. And then Caleb got super into it. And then every time I'd watch it on the treadmill in the morning, if we were watching it in the evening, he'd be like, "Okay, what has happened?" I'd be
Right.
like, "So."
So much has happened.
But no, so I just started season 12, I think. So there was
Oh, so you haven't finished it.
no, I have not finished.
Oh,
No spoilers,
shit.
no
Okay,
spoilers.
all right,
Although
all
I
right.
did,
All
as
right.
soon I hate myself because I started it, and then as soon as you start something on Instagram, it'll come up on your Explorer page,
Yeah.
or on your Twitter, it'll be like the 15 best deaths in TV, or the
Right,
15
right.
best triumphs in TV, and I'm like, okay, I'll just read it. And then
Oh.
usually I'm quite good, because if it's a TV show I haven't watched or I'm in the middle of, I just scroll.
Skip
But for
past
some
it.
reason, I didn't scroll fast enough, and I was like, no.
Oh.
So I already spoiled it for myself, but I'm not going to spoil it for listeners. But I just finished season 11, The Darkness. I can't remember where I was going with this. Oh, where was I going with this? What were we talking about?
We were just talking about how much we love Supernatural.
Oh! I know what I was going to talk about. So, obviously, I honestly just love everything about it. I think Dean is one of the best characters written of all time. The consistency
Yes.
and also the development in his character is mind-blowing to me. Sam, his hair is very questionable in a bunch of seasons. And I always see memes that are season 1, Sam and Dean, and then season 12, and it's Sam and Dean. And Dean is literally aged a week, and then Sam is aged at least 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
And he's meant to be the younger brother, and I'm like, that poor guy. But I just finished season 11, and Castiel is an extra character in there. He plays an angel, and he is overtaken by Lucifer, who is a great actor called Mark Pellegrino, who I'm hoping to get on the podcast. I've been speaking with his agent, so hopefully he'll be on our podcast. But
fingers crossed.
he is a great actor, and when he played Lucifer, he was
so
very unique.
Yeah.
And when he's taken over the angel, Misha Collins, who plays the angel, did such an amazing job,
right? Where he
of portraying him. It blew my mind. I was like, this actor has studied Mark Pellegrino for probably months to get it this spot on.
Yeah.
It was blowing my mind. I couldn't believe how good it was. So yeah, so some people would be like, Supernatural, cheesy as shit. Yes, there's cheese, there's amazing acting. And honestly, sometimes I remember being on the treadmill at some episodes and being like almost crying. And I am not a crier. Right? I'm not a crier.
Oh my God.
I'm not a crier, never cry. And I would be on the treadmill I need to not cry. It's such a good TV show. I can't believe
they up the drama in certain areas too.
I cannot believe that I waited this long to watch it. I'm so mad at myself.
I probably watched 5 seasons of it, and then I forced my girlfriend to watch a couple of the first season, and I was like, okay, we're starting on the first season. The acting is terrible, and
first season is always bad in every TV show,
right?
unless
it's
you're
totally
something
bad,
weird.
but
yeah,
stick with it, and
we're
gonna get there, and so I ended up, after watching 5 seasons, starting over at 1 and watching every episode again because she got hooked, and so we were in it, and then going all the way through to the end, and that is just one of those shows that you're right. Yeah, there's cheese, but it's so fun.
So well balanced.
It's so well balanced. The topics are so cool to do a show about.
Cheese
I
is
can't
important
believe that
in a lot of cases.
You ever order a burger without cheese?
Right.
I don't. It's so good, and it's so it was just it ropes you in. It really ropes you in. And some of the characters are so well written. I love Crowley.
I love him.
That Crowley has taken in that show, and it's there's so many of those. You had, you said, Dean's arc is awesome.
Yeah,
and for a series that the original idea was to be a movie, it was supposed to be a 2-hour.
Oh, really?
Movie.
I didn't know that.
Yep, it was written as a 2-hour movie. where at the end, Sam ends up becoming the vessel for Lucifer, and they all lose.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that was it. And that
Yeah.
was the end of the movie. And the movie
Amazing.
didn't get picked up. And so he started writing it as a show.
He was like, "Fuck you, I'll do a series,"
yeah,
and then it just
and
ruled
pitched
the world.
it as a series, and then it became what it became, which is insane to me, which is super cool. And it's so much better than a movie, too, because, like, the
I
movie,
genuinely, yeah.
it would have been
I just-
done.
Yeah, I genuinely like if something's gone for 15 seasons. I mean, sometimes there's just drivel that people just watch. I like American like soaps, like I don't know, Days of Our Lives is. It's
Right,
just a soap. It's not done in seasons. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But there are these occasional TV shows that make it to like 10 or 12 seasons, and they're just done so fucking well. And honestly, I can't believe I'm saying it, but it's Supernatural is done so well.
Yeah.
Everyone that is ever my friend that's online that's like, I need a new series, I'm like, please trust me and watch this. You will fucking love it. That anyone
Absolutely.
in the UK, because I don't know in the UK. I mean, it must have started when I still lived in the UK, and I never even heard of it. And I'm like, I don't even know if it's on Netflix in the UK. And I'm like, you need to fucking watch this.
Yeah, it was this throwaway CG
So good.
show.
Yeah,
You know,
and
when you-
it's funny because they said like you can tell the seasons where they were like, we're gonna get cancelled. Let's just fuck it and just go for it.
Yeah.
Like season 5 or season like 8, and you're like, oh, they're just having fun. And I
Well, you
love
can-
that they had fun, and then it got picked up again, and they're like, okay, we need to take this a bit more seriously, but also still have fun.
You can
It's
tell when
just
they
brilliant.
started getting money too, because as soon as they started getting money, they started getting real song licenses.
Yeah.
So it was like all this like really horrible like B music before, and it was like, you know, like rock track number 4, and it was like
Yeah,
and Dean would like.
I was
slowly-
mad that they somehow never had a Beartooth track, because I don't know if you know, but Beartooth was in Criminal Minds, and I was like waiting. I was like, oh, was it Supernatural? Am I going to come across it? But it obviously never was. But
Right.
I was just like, I'm so mad that Dean never just fucking cranked Beartooth to fucking 12. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I will
He
say
should.
that I did speak to Mark Shepard's agent, and they were like, yeah, we're getting a lot of requests. We need to be paid for these. And I was like, okay, I've never paid a guest, but we're happy to. And then never heard back. So that's Crowley, by the way, if people
Right.
don't know. So
Yeah.
I was like, God damn it, Crowley.
Yeah,
You
he was so
motherfucker!
great.
It's
He's
so
so
funny that
good,
you bring that up. I not to digress, but like the whole like, yeah, well, you know, he's got to get paid.
Yeah. It's
like-
honestly like a strange
it's
thing. It's
like-
only happened twice since I've been sending out emails to people. One was, it sounds like I'm naming and shaming, but I'm not. But I loved Lost when it first started. I mean, there was a couple of seasons that
that first season was crazy.
yeah, I mean, the first like 4 seasons were amazing,
Yeah,
and then they
yeah,
lost their way,
Then
and they were like
lost me, yeah.
Indian temples, and where are we on this island? And there's a foot, and and it was
That
terrible.
Same thing with like Heroes. Did you ever watch Heroes?
Oh,
Right,
yeah. I knew. I was like, there are always these TV concepts where they're like, I have this idea, and it lasts really well for a season, and then it just falls to shit
then
because
there's
they have
nothing to
no
do.
idea where to take it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Desmond from Lost, best character on Lost of all time. Although I am in love with Matthew Fox, but Desmond was the best character on Lost. And they were like, yeah, we might take a donation to a charity, and then just nothing. And it was so Desmond from Lost and Crowley from Supernatural, and it was like, yeah, we need to be paid because we're getting too many requests. And I was like, okay, we've never done this before, but how much do you want? Like, that's weird,
Right,
but
yeah.
okay. And then nothing. And I was like, okay, fuck you.
Yeah. I mean, like, so on our podcast, we have musicians, we have
Actors.
we've
Yeah.
gotten
We've had a few pro wrestlers.
pro-
which has been
Love
lot
super
of
that.
fun.
Yeah.
the pro wrestlers. If you ever want a pro wrestler on your podcast, they all love money.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
All of them.
I was going to say, I've always been like, because Tom Gutches, shout out to Tom Gutches, he's Caleb's manager. He's a good friend of ours, but I was always like, I feel like we should try and get a wrestler on because I'm trying to get everybody from different genres of entertainment.
That's
I
what
want
we've
our
been doing too, yeah.
I want our podcast to be a whole spectrum of guests.
We're gonna have to
and
cut this, but I'll get you a few that will come on.
okay,
No charge.
yeah. So
Okay.
I said, well, Tom is like, so Tom is a huge wrestle nation. He got us like, we got like box seats or something that I've never been a wrestle person, but I would love their perspective on some shit. And he was like, yeah, their agents are really fucking tough. And I was like, okay.
It depends
It's just
on who
so
you're
funny,
going
isn't
for.
it?
I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm
no.
sure if you're going for like the Rock,
If you're going for
Yeah.
The Rock,
I mean, I'm
or,
going
like,
for The Rock
Roman
or The
Reigns
Undertaker, or I'm
whatever,
trying to think of names that I know.
But, like,
we've gotten
honestly,
a couple
like,
of
we got Eric Bischoff. Eric Bischoff like ran WCW,
he's
which
not a
was
wrestler.
which was the company that
He was the CEO.
almost got WWE bankrupt and like gone,
Yeah,
done.
he came
Out
up
of the
with
game.
the idea for, like, if you remember, like the NWO T-shirts, black shirts with the spray paint NWO
Yeah.
on them. He came up with the concept for that, and so not even a wrestler, but a guy that was like one of the creatives behind a lot of it. Fascinating, like, conversation.
Super awesome dude, and
Yeah.
and he is probably, and he's like a Hall of Famer now, but like even like these smaller guys, like we've gotten emails back and they were like, yeah, so that figure like $450 for 45 minutes, and I was like, cool. We don't have a like an actual
But then we get the guy,
budget for that, but so
then we get the
what
guy
do you think?
that
And then they
owns the
sent an
company
email back.
that's like,
There's this-
yeah, I'll do it.
They sent an email back and they're like, oh, well, you know what? Like one-time fee, we'll do it like for $150.
Right.
yeah, it's funny,
So you
isn't
went
it?
from 500 to 150, and then we have somebody who like hired the guy that you represent, but he's willing to just like come hang out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's.
Cool.
I was literally talking about this before we started because there are some guests where you'll email the agent, hear nothing. You'll email the actual guest, you'll get a response, and then the agent will be the one, the manager or agent will be the one that's getting in the way of the success.
Right.
You're like, your actual client has said yes. This is making us all sound very bitter. Your actual client has said yes, and
Maybe
you're
a
making this
little.
more difficult. So what's going on? Because sometimes the manager is like, I don't think this is worth my client's time. But the client is just like, I just want to do this. It's just fun.
Yeah.
So it makes it like a lot more difficult. And you're like, this should be easy. Like, just do it or not. It's fine.
Well,
I'm not
what do
fussed
you
either
do?
way.
As a podcaster, what do you do? Like, I know that, like, one of the things that we wanted, even from the beginning, that I always thought was cool, and we were actually just talking about this recently, was we're getting the opportunity to, like, for every member of Silverstein that we get to interview, or wrestling Hall of Famer, or actor that's working and doing shows, we get to interview and, like, or just hang out and talk to that person. But that means that every person that isn't at that level, to our listeners or our viewers, is looked at as that same level. And that is always an important thing to me and to us, because we were like, this puts us all on a level playing field, because just because you're successful doesn't mean that the person that's not as successful isn't just as talented.
Yeah.
So everybody
100%.
deserves to have that kind of, like, you know, if we think you're good, we want to put you on the podcast. If we think you're interesting, we want to talk to you. It doesn't matter at the level that you're at. So, what have you run into anything where you've been like, okay, this person either is way too big for my podcast, or thinks they're way too big for my podcast, or this person isn't big enough for my podcast? Or do you have any of that kind of thing going on? Do you think about stuff like that? Because we're new.
No,
we don't know.
I definitely think about that stuff. And honestly, as a whole, I've never thought to myself, this person is too big or too small for the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is that people that, so I'm not going to lie, I have connections because I'm married to my husband. He's been touring for, a decade at least. And I've been there for a lot of years of that. And we have really good friends in the music industry. And so a lot of it was just like, I don't care if you're big or small, you're just my friend. I want you on the podcast. Right. You're hilarious.
Yeah.
But what's funny is some of that is there's people that you ask that that you're like, I'm not going to say filler episode because I would never think of anyone like that. But you ask people that you're like, oh, they'll definitely be an episode.
Right.
Because they're our friend.
They're our friend.
And they'll be like, I don't know. And they think they're too big for the podcast because you're not big enough yet.
Right.
And then one of my favorite guests of all time is the actor Matthew Lillard, which was
a great episode.
Was fucking mind-blowing to me. It was so good.
Super
because he's
awesome episode.
Such a good dude.
Do you prefer Shaggy Matthew Lillard or do you prefer Hackers Matthew Lillard?
Hackers, 100%. 100%.
But
I've never seen Scooby-Doo, so I don't.
I haven't either, but Hackers is one of my favorite.
And quite frankly, the subject of that episode was fucking awesome. Yeah.
So he was one of the guys that was sending over like 5 million different things, and I was like honed in on something that he suggested and was like, let's do movies that you think you should have been in, because I knew that he would have amazing audition stories.
Such a good,
So I was I just want to get as much information out of him as possible from stuff that he's never said before.
To pause you for a second, everybody that's listening right now, keep listening, pause, but go on whatever you listen to other podcasts on and save My Top 5 pod and look for the episode with Matthew Lillard and check that episode out, because taking someone like him and saying, what movies should you have been in is awesome.
Yeah.
What a great
I was honestly really proud of that, because we got him to open up on audition stories that didn't go his way or audition stories that did.
Right.
But then something happened, or he was like, I was cast in this and I shouldn't have been. Right. I was just like, I really want to open up the experiences he's had to go through to get to the parts that he's done or has missed out on. And so going back to that, it was a luck of the draw. I have a friend called Kate. She was on Facebook. She had tagged him being like, check this out. It's a new political series. And it was tagging him. And I was like, do you know Matthew Lillard? Because I've been obsessed with Scream since I was like 11. Like, it was one of those things where you go to a sleepover at a friend's house and they show you an 18 rated movie and you're like, what's happening? So I mean, I did that in drama class. I literally reenacted the Scream scene between Matthew Lillard and Skeet Ulrich. So I've always been obsessed with Matthew Lillard. And I was like, how do you know Matthew Lillard? Get him on my podcast as a joke. Within an hour, she was like texting me like, oh yeah, I'll just hook you up. I'll like let you I'll tell him that you want him to be on the podcast. And I was like, yeah, lol, Matthew Lillard. Right. I mean, he's a fucking movie star.
Right.
And literally an hour after that, me and him are just emailing. And he was like, I'm so excited to do this. Let's make this happen. And I was like, this is Matthew fucking Lillard. This is a household name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, like, you could take anyone in any household in America. They've seen him in something. Good Girls, which is a fucking amazing TV series.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo. Yeah, it's so good. I wish I'd watched it before we did the interview with him, because was like, Scream. Like, do you know what I mean? Everyone knows who he is.
Yeah.
And he was emailing being like, I'm so excited about this. It was so amazing on the interview. We got to ask him some weird stuff. He spilled some like stuff he'd never spoken about before. And then there's someone who's in a band that's probably played a local show that's like, yeah, I don't know if I have the time, because they think they're too big for the podcast. Right. And you're like, okay, calm down. Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not fucking Matthew Lillard. It blows my mind that someone, someone could be as famous as him and be so humble and amazing and welcoming. And he wanted to talk for hours. And Luke literally was like, we need to cut you off because I know you want to go golfing. And I was almost mad at Luke because I was like, the man is talking. I want to talk for 5 hours.
Let him keep going.
Yeah. I want to talk all day with him. But and then you have people that think they're too big for it, and they've played to 100 people last week. It's like a weird. You have to find like a weird medium.
It's unbelievable.
It's so
Yeah,
super crazy.
it's mind blowing.
It's so odd because to me it's always this idea of like, well, you know, like you're in entertainment first off, right? You're in entertainment, and you're in entertainment because you like to entertain people, and because you enjoy a back and forth. So why wouldn't you enjoy back and forth? Why are you too big for that? Why does that matter? You know? So I never understand that idea. Like, granted, I know that, like, you know, like maybe Keanu Reeves is a good email.
To be fair, sometimes I take that chance. I just throw off like the big ones. I'm like,
that's
we're
what you
just
gotta
doing.
do. If you can find that, if you can find that like contact,
you know what?
you're just like, fuck it.
Watching interviews.
The worst
with
they can
Keanu
do is
Reeves,
say no.
I think Keanu Reeves would have way more fun on your podcast and our podcast than he has in many of the interviews.
Most interviews, right? Right.
So
no, sometimes I just fire him off because I'm like, and I literally put in it. We know this is like a strange request, or we know this is like we're throwing this off on the deep end. Like, I'm not like, we're as big as you. I would never say that. I'm being realistic with them. I'm saying we're small, we're growing. Like, we've had these guests, we want these guests, we've had these guests. We are throwing it out there just in case. We know this is a big deal. Like, we know this is a big ask, and sometimes we get them back. And honestly, even if they're back and they're like Mark Pellegrino, his agent was like, he's not doing PR right now, but he's got a new TV show coming up in 2 months. So re-email me then, and he'll do it. And I'm like, amazing. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, and even Mark Pellegrino, huge actor in my eyes. He's not like a name you'll instantly know, but as soon as you see his face, he has been in everything. Do you know what I mean?
Anybody that's working is huge in my eyes. You know what I mean?
100%.
If you're doing what you love and you're making a living at it, you're huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've been in one local show. You've been in one pilot TV show. You've been in, I don't know, an Avengers movie. I don't give a shit. You're working. You're having a great time. Yeah. Tell me your story. Tell me what your top 5 is.
You're living your life. I want to hang out with you.
You know what
exactly.
And we're back. We were just talking about how we have to edit things out sometimes, like people going and peeing, which is why you guys just saw a commercial.
We just went and peed, I would say weed, but that's fine. That's the natural thing. Hey, guys, it's natural.
Exactly. So
when you're hanging out,
so all of you just heard something about BarkBox or Fresh Clean Teas.
Oh, nice.
Well, everybody took a wee.
Are you like us? I have no idea what gets advertised on our podcast. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? When we were independent, I would email everyone, and we got like some really great sponsors because I didn't want our podcast to be one of those ones that had crazy adverts in. And then when we got signed, I thought, oh, okay, we'll have some say. And we really didn't. And I was like, oh, you're just gonna have to let it go.
Well, we're still independent, so
nice.
we're still doing that. But we were lucky.
You get BarkBox. Good for you.
Yeah. We were lucky enough to do BarkBox.
I never emailed BarkBox.
Hey, well, we're dog people here, you know.
I am a huge dog person. Yeah. So if after this year, if we have to go independent again, I'm doing BarkBox.
Dude, we love Raffy. Like, Raffy is pretty awesome. He's got Bruce. I've got Bane.
I've got Bruce Wayne. He's got Bane.
And then I also have Bruno. Bruno is a new addition, and he's pretty much.
I had a friend that had a giant dog called Bruno, like a big, like Great Dane, but Mastiff. I don't know what Bruno was, but he was wonderful. I haven't seen him in a couple of years, but
Bruno.
He's got a tiny.
Oh, really? He's teeny tiny.
Okay, so he's boxer. No, I'm sorry. He's Beagle. Boston Terrier, Bulldog.
Yep.
Mix.
Oh. Okay, so Luke, my co-host, has a Beagle Bulldog mix.
Ooh, nice.
Called Beasley.
Oh, that's great. I like it.
But the terrier mix in there, he's probably going to be odd looking.
So he's small.
He's a little odd.
Yeah, he's
Because Beasley, kind of odd looking.
Yeah.
So he's small. He's got like the beagle bark, the
Snout.
the snout that's
Yeah.
kind of like it's smallish,
It's
but
pushed
not
in a
that
little.
smallish.
Yeah.
But he's got the bulldog gait that he's like starting
Shoulders.
to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
But he's
And-
also fluffy like a terrier.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mine.
Big dog
Bruce,
people.
Bruce Wayne is a French.
He better be all black.
He's a French bulldog mixed with a
Not all
Boston
black.
Terrier.
Oh.
He was all black when we got him.
That's same with Raffy. When he was born, he was all black
And
because
then
we
he
wanted an all
totally
black
went
dog.
brindle. He totally
Yeah.
went brindle after that. But he looks like he was dropped on his head.
Oh,
because-
poor guy.
Because his eyes go in different directions like a lizard. He looks at the world like a chameleon does.
I get it.
You
Yeah.
can sneak up on him from the front.
it's pretty awesome because I have a drummer like that.
And his
Those
yeah.
are great drummers.
We can never let them meet because if they look at each other, we all go back in
The
time.
world will stop. Yeah.
Never happened. But his tongue's too big for his head, so it just kind of hangs out of his
Oh.
mouth all the time.
I'm not gonna lie. Both your dogs sound not beautiful.
Well, Bruce Wayne you can find on Instagram.
In your heart. In your
On
heart.
Instagram, we have
100%
Bruce
beautiful.
Wayne Frenchton. He's very popular. He's
I
more
will look
popular than
that
we are. So,
Oh, nice. I honestly, everyone, all the time is like, make Raffy an Instagram. And I'm like, it's just because I literally, he is the worst dog for taking photos. If you're like, Raffy, the second you get your phone out, he'll look the other way.
other way.
He knows immediately if he's doing something cute and I get my phone out, take a video, he stops. If he's like going up to Caleb to do something cute and I get a photo or video, he stops. It's so hard. And everyone's like, do him an Instagram. And I'm like, it would take me 100 hours to get one post. Fuck you, I'm not doing it.
Bruce has he's camera friendly, but he's got
Oh,
such a
nice.
dark face.
Oh,
right?
bless him. You try
Which
and
is
make him look
great.
better.
It's awesome. So, like, not only does he have an Instagram, but he also has a TikTok. And
I don't know about
Man,
that.
you are a stage parent right now.
yeah. Well, that's not me. That's not me. He's got another stage parent. That's my girlfriend.
I'm
She's
just
like-
sipping my drink. I got no words. I'm not judging.
She was like, I need to learn TikTok, so I'll learn it with the dog first. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's how
And,
it's I'll learn it with the dog first.
And then we made a whole clothing line with him too. FrenchtonTees.com. Check it out.
Oh, nice drop.
His dumb face or
Does it get bigger? Oh, okay. I'm not going to put that on Raffy. I'm sorry. If you did like cool stuff for dogs, I might. But I'm not going to put another dog's face on my dog. That would be weird. I don't want to give my dog an
It's for your. It's for you.
people. It's for
Oh,
people.
okay. I was going to say I don't want to give my dog an inferiority complex.
No, it's for you. Give yourself.
Hey, you know what? COVID hit us all in weird ways. We're all trying to hustle.
We're all just. We're all
Look, let's
side
make t-shirts with
businesses
a dog
we never
on it.
thought we would.
Speaking of hustle, we do have to
Oh yeah.
feed the meter,
Yep.
if you will.
Okay. Okay.
We are sponsored by a company called Poddex. Poddex
Okay.
is super awesome. Fleur,
Okay.
you should reach out to them.
Yeah.
When you're done with this episode, the owner is super duper 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 cool. Basically, what this is it's Cards Against Humanity, a little bit cleaner.
Ooh.
A little bit cleaner. It's good for people who are just starting podcasts, people who don't have verbal diarrhea like the rest of us. Yeah. So what they do is they put these decks together, and it helps you get either episodes, interview questions, etc. So if you go to poddex.com right now,
Yeah, jump on to poddex.com right now and you can check out what they have. Like Mike was saying, they just have really good. They're basically it's a deck of cards, and it has interview questions, it has topics, it has show topic ideas for anybody that's just trying to start a podcast or just starting to kind of like get their feet wet into talking to people as far as interviews and things like that. It's really going to help you. There's icebreakers, and it's just we've been talking the whole night about how like questions can lead to 10 other questions. That's what this is all about.
Right.
So what you're
And,
saying is I need to go to Poddex and make my podcast better.
No.
we definitely use it to make our.
We're
I'm saying in general, if you want
You
to start a
gotta
podcast
go.
and you want to make it better, go to this place.
Yeah,
You
check out
need to go to
Poddex.
poddex.com
order their
and
cards,
order their
a t-shirt.
cards,
They got some cool swag
and then
too.
go, hey, our podcast is cool too. Hook us up.
Now, if you go there, you can always you can put in the promo code.
Bacon.
Yes, the promo code bacon, and that'll get you
Nice.
10% off. 10%
Nice.
off your entire order. So go to Poddex, poddex.com, check it out.
They have some
Love that.
awesome and super soft tees.
Yeah,
that are
soft
great.
tees.
It's
They're
not
not,
this
they're not
one.
like
Tee.
crunchy.
This
I
one's
hate
not.
crunchy t-shirts.
Oh, nice. Soft teas all the way.
Oh my god, they're the worst. So soft tees are the best. So right now, what we're gonna do is, Fleur, we're gonna let you choose which pod deck you want to get a random question from, and then we're gonna ask you a question from the pod deck.
Nice.
So we have the episode deck, the interview deck, the interview 2,
Oh,
what the heck, and would you rather. Please don't choose the episode deck.
which one was the episode deck?
That's the first one.
Oh, okay. Well, I was either going to go black because black forever or green because it's my favorite color. So I guess green, just to be
Green?
jazzy.
Do it.
Okay,
Jazzy it
so
up.
you
That
went
was what the
green.
heck?
Everybody yeah.
What
So
the heck?
what the heck is?
Wait, does everyone love that? If everyone chooses
No.
that, I'll do the black
no,
one.
everyone
Okay.
chooses the. Would
Everyone
you rather
chooses
deck.
would you rather.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I honestly thought that more people would want to do the what the heck.
I thought so too. I'm surprised they don't. But
I'm scared.
no, what's funny
We'll
is
see.
you-
We'll see.
it's great because you never know what kind of questions you're going to get through here because
It's going to be
It isn't-
so bizarre.
they're not super racy,
No,
right? Because they're for all.
I thought you were just about to be like, they're not super racist.
They're also not super racist, which is
most
good.
most of the time they're
It's
not
good.
super racist.
Thank God.
I think you should never have to use the word super in that sentence. You should
Yeah.
just be super racist. They're not super racist.
They're not
you should
super racist.
just only
you should
slightly.
just be like, they're not racist.
They verge on.
Because, they're racist.
Hit me. What does
Okay.
it say?
So,
You're really
so-
shuffling those guys.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I really shuffle them, and the reason why I do that
Yeah, the reason he shuffles
is because
Oh.
Jim, despite living in Vegas,
yes,
can't
Oh.
shuffle.
cannot.
Oh, yeah. I'm sick of it. Wait, you live in Vegas?
I used to live in
he
Vegas.
used to.
Yes,
Oh, okay. Okay.
I lived
I
there
was just
for
about
about
to
a
be
year.
like, I'm going to be there in a couple of weeks or
nice.
something. Yeah. So, yeah.
I used to live in Vegas. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I would move back there in a second. Never learned to shuffle while I was there. Despite what everybody thinks, when you get a job in Vegas, they don't hand you cards to show you how to shuffle.
There's not enough time to learn.
It's not how it works. I was a bartender.
Totally lying.
I know how to make drinks,
He says.
which I feel is less financially
No,
stable, but a better skill.
So what we're gonna do
Oh,
is
okay.
I'm going to fan this deck out.
I'm gonna
Oh,
use
God, we're doing like proper, like,
I'm gonna
Oh
use
yeah,
my-
for real.
I'm gonna use
Okay.
my pointer fingy, and it's gonna go from left to right for those of you that are listening. And you tell me where to stop. And that
are
will
we
be your-
starting already? I don't know if you're doing a demonstration or not.
Well, it's if you don't say anything, it has become a demonstration.
Okay. Oh, the pause is effective.
Oh,
Stop.
he touched my
Stop.
finger.
He touched my finger.
It's never happened before.
I know, right? You didn't know it was your thing.
I was
Now-
doing a pause
now
for
it's your thing.
dramatic effect.
It was a good one.
Okay.
Interesting
Wait.
question.
Which
I like
which
this
deck
question.
is this? This is the what the heck, right?
This is the what the heck
Yeah.
deck. So it could
Okay.
be a question about literally anything. Who knows?
Okay.
I like this question. So,
Oh.
Fleur, what strange thing would you like to happen at your funeral to make people laugh?
Me to pop up and say, it was all a dream.
Psych!
Wow.
Love Biggie. No, I God, at my funeral. God, how depressing. Look,
It doesn't have to be. Make it fun.
no, very true. But I'm a very so I'm a very nervous flyer. This will probably come out next week. We fly to Hawaii, and I'm very scared of flying, and I have to fly all the time.
I love Hawaii. It's awesome.
Yeah, I love Hawaii.
Never been there. It's
Really, we got married there. But
nice.
no, I really love going to places, but I don't love the journey. It got to the point where I wouldn't even drink on planes because I was like, if it's going down, I want to be with it just in case I can like try and escape somehow.
Oh man.
And
it's
Caleb's the opposite. He's like, I just want to be.
Opposite.
Yeah, Caleb's like, I want to be drunk or out of it on like sleeping pills, so I don't know it's even happening to me.
See, I'm okay with like a decent sized like legit jet. So if I'm taking like JetBlue or Delta, I'm okay.
Right.
If I'm going
Like the Buddy Holly killers, not so much.
Yeah.
no,
those are the
I went on
private
American
jets.
once. I went on American once, and the bathroom had literal alcohol wipes. Alcohol wipes. It was awful. I just shaved that day, and I was just like, okay, did this.
Oh, that's odd. I mean, I don't know if that's going to kill you, but that's odd.
Yeah, it was awful.
Terrible move.
But
Every time I go on planes, I'm lucky enough. I'd mentioned before, my girlfriend works for Joan Jett.
Okay.
So not dropping names, but it's the only reason that it makes
Completely
sense if
drop a
I
name.
tell you that like she hands me stacks of Delta drink tickets, and I
Yes.
used to fly home for Christmas every year. So she would be like, "Here's like 25 drink tickets from Delta because we didn't use them all."
Yeah.
I'd be like, "This
Love
is the
that.
greatest day ever."
Yeah.
And so what I do is immediately when I would get on the plane, I would make immediate friends with everybody to my left and right. And I would be like, hey, do you guys drink? Do you guys want to like make this a fun flight? Here's free
I love
drinks.
that.
And I would start handing out drinks. And then my aisle would be the shit some years. And my aisle would be really angry at me other years because I'd be like, oh, you're ho-hummers? All right, well,
I'm going to have 20 drinks.
you guys are really going to hate it when I'm 5 deep.
what's also fun is that he's never had drink tickets anytime we've flown together.
He's making it up for his alcoholism.
They don't fly Delta anymore.
No, I'm really terrible. I'm a very nervous flyer. Not like when I'm on the plane, I try and zone out, put on a podcast. I try not to sleep beforehand so I pass out. I'm that kind of person, but I will oh my god, I don't even want to say it. I sound horrific. If there has been some kind of plane accident, hopefully where everyone survived, or plane like off the runway crash where no one has died, calm down everybody, and or something of that regard,
right?
Within like a few weeks of me flying, it makes me feel a million times better because I'm like the odds of 2 planes crashing within a month is very small.
I love that you just said that because I was.
And so I
exact thing.
really wait for that. But
Also-
it's so funny
So
because you were saying that, and I was like, I was like, is she saying like that she doesn't like it and everything? And you said that, and I was like, in my mind, I was like, well, I'm just gonna come back with like, it's the law of averages. That's your best bet.
Yeah, literally
And
law
you're
of
like,
averages.
it's my best bet. And
Yeah.
So
yeah.
every time I fly with this guy, okay, I usually let him go first on like the boop, you scan your ticket.
Yeah.
He goes to the plane. He bangs the
touch
side of it.
I gotta touch it.
He just goes,
Oh, interesting.
I gotta touch it.
Yeah, I've
every
never
time.
done that.
yeah. Every time, and I'm like,
I do have like a strange thing where I have to listen to the safety thing.
Okay.
Like
I don't.
I have no idea when it started, but I was like, I'm dozing. I need to pay attention to the safety thing. That's going to save me. It never would if you were in an actual plane crash.
Right.
But in my
It's like-
head, I'm
it's
like,
like
if
Fight
I
Club.
listen to this, then I'll be okay. Yeah, they're like,
Mhm.
just take the position, you'll die quicker.
Yeah.
But in my head, it's like the touch the plane thing. I'll be okay if I literally pay attention to this. So whatever I'm doing, if I'm watching TV, listening to podcasts, I pause it and always pay attention to that. If I'm asleep, I'll wake up and be like, because sometimes I will be that tired that I'm already asleep before the
Yeah.
safety thing has happened. So I'm like, that's the one thing that's on my ritual is I have to pay attention to that. I don't touch the plane or anything.
You know why I touched the plane? It's a funny thing, and I don't remember when it started, to be honest. But I just remember always kind of like, I was like, this is my handshake with the plane. This is my deal. I'm like, hey man,
this is me respecting you.
hey man, it's me and you. It's me and you. We're gonna do this. We're doing this together. And I don't know when I started thinking like that, but it just kind of happened because I was flying so much over a couple of years, and it was like, all right, well, you know what? That's like me going, we got this.
Yeah, I get it.
I didn't know that bothered you.
Like I the first time I watched you do that, I was like, what just happened?
Just jinxed us, you bitch.
I didn't even register that's like, so I didn't even think about it.
So
that's
we go on like video jobs, you know, every once in a while. Pre-COVID, we used to go a lot, but like now we haven't. Yeah. But like he used to do that, and I'm like, fuck, what does he do? What is that all about?
That's so funny.
And then finally, like I asked him, I was like, hey man, like, why are you banging on the side of the plane before we get on?
Why are you trying to dent this plane?
Just checking the structural integrity of this part.
Yeah, it's so
if
funny.
If this part's loose, the plane's going
It's
down.
so funny. I had a drummer who worked at airports, and he used to work on planes, and he used to tell me, he was like, if anything's wrong with the plane, you just duct tape it. And literally after that,
now I feel good about the flying I'm doing the next couple of weeks.
After that, honestly, when he told me that, and after hearing it a few times, I was like, I'll be all right.
I spoke to somebody that worked baggage, and they were like, just so you know, if you're afraid that people throw your bags around, they do.
I mean, everyone knows.
So don't be afraid, because you already know they do.
Yeah.
Fragile means throw it on the ground.
Means put it on a carry-on.
And I was like, oh, okay. All right, cool.
There was only one.
Everything's going in a backpack.
Yeah, there was only one plane trip I've ever taken. Me and Caleb, like, honestly, genuinely, okay, these days, we've flown together more, but back in the day, it would just be like me joining him on tour, or if he was already in the UK, I'd fly and join it, whatever. And so we actually flew together very rarely. Like the first time we ever flew together was to Hawaii for our, like, a wedding day. We were already married, but we were having a wedding or whatever. So one of the few times that we'd ever flown together, we were all flying to Europe for like one of Beartooth's like first Europe shows. And I'm like really good at making friends with the most random people. And for some reason on that flight, I was like, I know I'm going to get on with the air hostesses, air stewardesses. And so within like the first 10 minutes, I had secured a solid friendship. And we're an economy at that point. We're not like, I'm a big believer in you don't need to fly first class anywhere. Obviously, unless you're flying to like Australia, it would help. But I'm like, if I'm just going 3 hours to Florida or Texas, I don't need to be first class. I'm not that person. So you get free alcohol on those flights anyway, because it's cross Atlantic. But they usually just come around like once every so often and offer you a drink. But I would made such solid friends with them that every time they came around, they were just like slipping me like 5 of whatever liquor we wanted.
That is
just for me. And then obviously everyone was getting other stuff. And honestly, Caleb passed out.
Flight.
Caleb passed out.
Everyone. Pro tip, everyone.
Caleb passed out within the first hour. They were still giving me stuff that was like gin. I fucking hate gin. They were still giving me gin. And I was like, no, he's done. Just give me more vodka or tequila. I was like, he's. So that was honestly
giving me the shit that I don't drink.
Yeah, it was the first flight ever that I honestly got drunk on because, like I said before, and since. I want to be with it. If it's going down, I need to be, in the zone. But that flight, I was like, everyone's getting hammered. Let's just get Caleb within an hour was just like on his thing just
See,
passed out.
That's what I'm saying. You get
Yeah.
you and everyone in your row hammered,
Well,
and it's
Good
a
time.
great flight.
Yeah,
It's a
That-
we're all
great flight.
snoozing together.
another fun question. Another fun
God.
thing that I have.
And then I promise we'll start wrapping it up because
Yeah,
I know
we'll
we've taken up a
Right.
lot of your time.
Before we get to that thing. Okay, so I'm terrified of flying, and obviously I don't know. It's a very rare story. I think I knew about it in England because it was to do with France, and it was a whole thing. But years ago, there was a flight from Brazil to France that got lost over the ocean. Like they eventually found, obviously, everybody unfortunately dead in the ocean. It was one of those things. There was an electrical storm. The plane went down. But when it happened, I remember like reading about it, and I'll send you links to the articles and stuff. But there was a couple that missed the flight. They missed the Brazil to France flight. So they rerouted them. They did Brazil to Germany. They hired a car to drive to France. They died in the hire car from Germany to France. It's literally, it's a
Holy
legit story. I will
shit.
send you the news. I was like, Final Destination.
Final
is
Destination.
real.
I was just thinking that. Holy shit.
Yeah, I remember reading that, and it blew my mind because I was like, okay, when it's your time, it's just your time. You know,
Oh my
like, yeah,
God.
you were lucky. They didn't know at the time. They missed the flight. They just got a different flight within like a couple of hours. They didn't know that the original flight had gone down or anything. But then they still died. I was like, Final Destination is fucking real.
Oh my God.
So anyway, last few questions. I'm
Yeah.
sorry I derailed that with that.
No, that's okay.
awesome.
That's
I will
we
send
did
you.
sucks.
I will send you the news articles. It's
Yeah,
wild.
please do.
one of my favorite chats that we had with somebody was with what's her name right now? Patty
Negri.
Negri. I couldn't remember how to say her last name.
From Ghost
Patty Negri.
Adventures.
And she is she's a medium, and she is the Good Witch of Hollywood. She's been on
Oh, okay.
Ghost Adventures. She was on the Cecil Hotel documentary, and so she holds a lot of seances and all kinds of things like that. So it was our first kind of foray into talking to somebody about like the paranormal and things kind of in that genre, like that Final Destination thing. And I am so fascinated about all that stuff. It was such a cool conversation with her. I definitely recommend, like, she'd be a cool one for you guys to get on too.
Yeah.
We'll
hook you up.
Yeah, definitely. She's super cool. She's super fun. But like her gnome answer to the question, she was like, "Oh, I love them, but they can be a little rambunctious sometimes. You got to watch them." And you got like, it's super cool. But stuff like that fascinates me. Like the idea that like the plane went down and then they died. Like they
still died. Yeah.
There's got
mind blowing.
Like there's a lot of bullshit.
That's why. Yeah,
opinion,
that's why
there.
when you watch like Supernatural or even things like, I hate to say it, like See No Evil, like I spoke about earlier, I don't know if it's going to make it the episode, but timing is everything.
Yes.
And like I said, like if that person had cycled home 10 minutes later or 10 minutes earlier, they'd still be alive.
That butterfly effect thing too,
yeah, butterfly effect. And it really affects, honestly, sometimes the way I fly. Like if they're like, would you rather take this flight? I'm like, this is a dilemma because do I take the new one and that was what I was meant to take and be fine, or do I stick with the original and that was going to keep me fine, or is the new one going to make me dead?
Am
like
I being
it
offered
plays
the new one
as a way out,
as a handout?
Yeah. So I don't spend a lot of time thinking about that stuff. I don't think a lot about the paranormal. There's not really a lot about that stuff that I really truly believe in. I remember, like as a kid, in London we had a next door neighbor, and I feel like she was very ghosty, or she died and there was a ghost and stuff, and it was like creepy, but I don't really remember a lot. She was ghosty.
Right, she's ghosty.
All
right. I could see
ghosty.
through her. She threw things in my house.
Yeah, super ghosty. I do remember that my friend's mum died, and I honestly, as a whole, I don't want to jinx myself because I do believe in jinxing, but I haven't had a lot of death within a huge realm of my life, like friends, family. all of that. I haven't had to deal with that a lot. My grandparents all died when I was very young. Like the last one died when I was like 18. So I haven't had to deal with that a lot. But when my friend's mum died, I definitely had a dream, and I didn't know she had died. And it was a very specific, very like this, this, and this. And I woke up the next day and was really upset. And then my friend texted me and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She was like, "She died." And I was like, "Holy fuck. This has
Wow.
never happened to me in my entire life." Like it, and not even since. And I couldn't believe that I'd had that dream. And then I found out that she had died. Like, I hate people that are like, "And then this happened," because I'm like, you're clearly lying. But that's the only instance in my life where that has happened. And I was like, this is nuts. So I don't know how I feel about mediums and like,
Yeah.
but like I said, like I am very superstitious about the weirdest things. And so with everything in life, I'm like kind of in the middle.
I hear you because
Yeah.
I have that same kind of thing where I'm like, okay, I believe in very few, well, probably no absolutes.
Yeah.
I don't believe in any absolutes. If you tell me like this is this because of this, I'm like, I don't.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe
Yeah,
not.
I agree. Yeah.
You got
But
some proof of
but
of
if
that?
you're like I had this experience, and maybe it's because of this. I'm like, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. That's interesting. That's a cool thing. I just recently. It's interesting you brought up like you feeling like uh, you having a dream and then somebody saying like, oh, this thing happened and it was all connected. I recently listened to an interview with a doctor, um, like a doctor in that type of study where he's studying the connection of um, okay, why is it that two siblings can sometimes feel and think the same thing miles apart? Why is it
Yeah.
that why do those things kind of happen? And they're exploring it in the idea of like, okay, maybe it's that people's um, spirit or I can't think of a better word than spirit. I guess that's the best one. Consciousness,
Yeah.
whatever,
Consciousness, connectivity. Yeah.
exists all the time, right? And you're kind of keying into it, and you're a
Yeah.
physical
Tapping into it.
manifestation
Yeah.
of it, but it's always there. And if your consciousness is kind of on the same um, connection with
Spectrum.
somebody else's, then there's a possibility that you can share these ideas. Or you can share information. And it's if you've ever heard of something called remote viewing, that's like a practice that they were studying as far back as like World War I and World War II, where they would have people and they would use them to kind of get in some kind of like concentration state, and they would try and see things or gather information from another room or another thing or some other area. And there's
I
been
think that's just
study.
called the movie Inception.
I think it is also called the movie Inception. I don't know if that shit's real or if it's not real, but I know that like a bunch of money was spent on studying it from the
Oh
government.
yeah, absolutely. I was
Right?
saying earlier, like when I was little, I was like, I wish you could record your dreams. And then,
Yeah.
10 years later or whatever, there's Inception. You're like,
Right.
maybe this could be a thing. And you're hopeful.
Right.
But,
So I
yeah.
think all that stuff is fascinating, and it's interesting to me, especially somebody that's like, well, I don't know if I believe this, I don't know if I believe that, but I've had this experience.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool.
Well, I've never been this is destiny and all this kind of stuff.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
But I will say that, I mean, it was my friend's mum, but I hadn't spoken to them in a few years because I was at university and they went to a different university and whatever. But at the time, I was seeing a guy who strangely was from kind of in the same area in England that I I grew up in London. My parents moved to Oxford. So I moved to Oxford just a few years before I went to university. And my friend was from Oxford. Hadn't seen her since I'd been at university, so 3 years. And I had gone back to see the guy I was seeing who was from Oxford. And we were in a supermarket, grocery store at midnight on a random Thursday or something. Hadn't ever been to the supermarket, like grocery store in my life ever before. She had definitely never been there because she was from at least like 35 minutes away from this place. We're literally like, let's just go here and get some drinks, like some crisps, whatever. And we were there, and she came around the corner and saw me and was like, oh my God. And I was like, holy fuck. Saw her. And then she was like, did you hear about my mom? And this is predating social media. So this is before Facebook and all that crap. Like Facebook was just starting. MySpace was a thing, but barely. Right. And because I'm that old, guys. And she was like, did you hear about mom? And I was like, no. And this is someone I was extremely close with during school. And I was like, no. And like, you know, when you get that feeling of dread when they're like, did you hear about this? And I'm like, holy fuck. Oh my God. Like, what happened?
No way you're following this with great news.
I know. I was like, shit. And she was like, she has cancer. And I was like, I literally like burst into tears in the middle of Sainsbury's, which if you're in England, you know what that is, which is just like a Kroger or I don't know where you are, Giant Eagle. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
England. Yeah. You're not from America.
Okay, Columbus.
Yeah, Columbus. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go and see you tomorrow. Like, I'll come and see her tomorrow because I haven't seen her in 3 years too, like at least 3 years. I was like, I have to come and see her. She's like, she's kind of unwell. I was like, I'm fucking coming to see her. Like, obviously, you've just told me this. So this is someone I haven't spoken to probably in 3 years. But before that, we were extremely close. Used to literally go up to her house after school every day. Her mum was my mum. Adored her. Hadn't spoken to her. I don't know why, but we hadn't really spoken in a couple of years. Ran into her in the most weirdest circumstances of all time. Went to see her mum the next day. Amazing woman. Was incredibly sick, but amazing. And then literally a week later is when she died.
Wow.
And I was like, I don't believe in this stuff, but I was meant to be in this random fucking grocery store at this random time of night.
Right.
Where I've never been before, and I met my old friend, and I got to see her and hug her and say goodbye and everything. So yeah, I get it. It's like I'm not someone that's like. I have another friend's mom who's like goes and sees a medium, and I'm like, it's enough. Like card readers, I'm like, why do you want to know what's going to happen in your life? Just let it fucking happen.
Right.
So I don't believe in all that stuff, but I believe in the timing of things.
Yeah.
And so when a plane goes down and it's 2 weeks before my plane, I'm like, it was your time, not mine. So, nice. you know, just to round it up, I don't want to die in a plane crash. That's my idea of hell. So, and I fly a lot. Hopefully that never happens. If this does happen, this is the last you'll hear of me.
Well,
peace out.
It's not gonna happen. That's your idea of hell besides curly fries. Curly fries and dying in a plane crash.
My idea of hell is a plane going down and them throwing curly fries at my face, being like, eat them! And I'm like, just give me fries! Just regular fries to die with tons of ketchup.
Your last meal, you say fries and they bring you curly fries.
By the way, before we go,
yes.
Like a little while ago, all of a sudden they were like, oh, there's this huge ketchup shortage in the US, right?
Wow.
I decided
it's your fault. You did it.
I decided to make ketchup. And I made damn good ketchup. I will send you the recipe. It's super fucking easy.
I honestly really believe in it because I really, really, really enjoy really thick ketchup. And when it's homemade, so much thicker. Like I don't use Heinz. I use a brand called Hunt's that do actually an extra thick version of their ketchup, and when it's cold, even thicker.
Yeah.
Actually, the people I was talking about earlier, sadly, whose mum died. Best ketchup I've ever had in my entire life. They had like the cold ketchup, like back of the fridge, glass jar, thickest ketchup of your life. Yeah, the ketchup shortage was to do with sachets or packets, as you call them here,
right.
Which I actually think is an abomination upon the world, because a sachet/packet of ketchup is about enough for one fry. So I think they should be abolished anyway. So when they were like, there's a ketchup shortage, I was like, no, there's just a ketchup shortage of the worst kind of ketchup. Yeah. So that's fine. Okay. Let's get rid of this horrificness that is sachets of ketchup and just give everyone a bottle of ketchup. Then the world will be happy.
When you get the little the little paper cups of ketchup, do you guys open them up because you can open them?
Because that's how they're meant to do it. Yeah, we know that. We know that. We're not amateurs.
Old school,
triple the size.
Old school trick, buddy.
You think I'm an amateur? Whenever people come in with ketchup facts, I'm like, yeah,
listen,
who are you talking to?
Listen, James, just because we're younger than you are.
Who are you talking to, Jimmy? I don't even know if I'm younger than Jimmy, but who are you talking to, Jimmy?
I'm just talking. I'm just bringing it up. I'm just trying to spread things. I know you guys probably know, but maybe some of our listeners don't. And, look, it's okay that you guys... It's okay that you guys don't give a shit about anybody but you, but like I'm trying to spread knowledge to the world.
The only horrificness in the world is mayonnaise, and that's final. And good night.
Fleur, thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for giving so much of your time. We really do appreciate it.
Chatted your face off. I am so sorry.
Not at all.
No, don't be sorry.
Please cut this way down for your listeners.
For the regular listeners, it'll get cut way down.
Okay, good.
Patreons, it's going raw. That's it.
They're gonna love it. Good. It's been fun. I had fun. I hope you had fun. I hope you had a good time.
I did. Yeah.
Good. Awesome.
Please tell everybody where they can hear your podcast.
Absolutely.
Catch you, all that stuff.
And let them know when we're going to be on your podcast.
Oh yeah, let's set that up. Yeah, that'd be fun. Nice. You just sorted yourself out a slot. No,
I just fucking booked us.
Well, your agent's going to be like, yeah, maybe if you pay.
Spoiler alert: I'm the agent.
He's the agent.
I'm the agent.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty cheap. If you let us drink whiskey on your show, we're in.
We're on.
Oh, we always encourage drinking like you guys do, so you're fine. As long as you don't charge us money, you can find us at the My Top 5 podcast. Just My Top 5. If you need to search us, both our last names are Shomo because it's me and my brother-in-law. All our socials are at Instagram, at twitter.com/mytoppod. You can find me at Fleur Shomo because I'm fucking awesome. FLEURSHOMO.
FLEUR. Fleur, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time. This has been fun, and just thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah. If you're ever bored on a Friday night,
we tell everybody we kind of treat
let
this.
us know.
If you've been on our podcast, you're part of the family. So if you ever need to promote anything, if you ever need to do anything, come on.
I was gonna butt in earlier because I know you were interviewing Pima, but the Olympic stuff was happening, and I'm a big sports person, so that took precedence over Pima. So
totally fine. He talked a lot of shit about playing golf.
Oh God, yawn. He wouldn't have talked shit about me, but just playing golf because he loves me, so that's fine.
Actually, he didn't talk shit. He did everything he could to not talk shit.
I was totally trying to stir shit up and
goad him. Yeah.
So Paul Mark, you co-wrote a song with Caleb from Beartooth. Why can you kick his ass in golf? And he was like, well,
Caleb's really good.
And he goes to
honestly, Caleb's better than Pima, I think. So Pima can shut his mouth. Love you, Pima.
Well, no,
drink that, you bitch.
That's going to be the intro right there.
Yeah, I shouldn't have even said it. Can you say that again without me saying anything?
I can't remember what I said. I said Caleb could kick Pima's ass, drink that, you bitch.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I
You
like
can
it.
cut that
He
and
was-
make something from it.
Nice.
By
Awesome.
the he was super humble about it. But,
Yeah, no, he really was. He was.
yeah, that's what really made me sad.
Wait.
I think
He was.
I
he
think
honestly was.
I think what we should do is the Silvertooth Invitational presented
Nice.
by Bacon is My Podcast and my top
My
five
top 5 pod.
pod.
We should definitely make that happen. Silvertooth
We've got-
is here.
We've
That would
got
be
we've got
fantastic.
like a really sick golf course by us.
We do,
and,
actually,
and
yeah.
like the
Honestly, we actually do.
yeah, like the PGA Tour comes. I mean, I don't know anything about
I
golf.
can't play at
He
all.
doesn't know anything.
no.
Do you know? No. I mean, we can drink.
Yeah.
I love
Well, they
Ricky
do
Fowler. And that's it.
Yeah, we can drive a golf cart around and let the
Oh, well, every
three of
time,
them
like
play.
Caleb golfs for days, and every so often I'll be like, I think I should come and test out the margaritas, and I'll just be the passenger and just drink while he plays, and I'll be like, yeah, it was a great shot, but I'll be hammered.
Yeah.
If we could get them
We-
to do it,
I'll
and
do it.
we'll and then like
or even a pitch and putt.
well, but if the
We'll
three
do
of
a
us
pitch
do
and putt.
play by play, that would be hilarious.
That would be pretty amazing.
Do a live video stream. It'll be
if we
fun.
did a live video stream and we were the play by play and we were just like, coming up next, we have like we totally ham it up. I like it.
I like it.
I'm all about
I
it.
think we can make it happen in the next year. Let's do
I
it.
think we could. I think
Okay.
we could.
Fleur, thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Do you feel better?
I mean, she had answers.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't like the answers necessarily, but she had answers.
Well,
and
yeah.
that being said, I could respect that.
Absolutely. Yes. She definitely
Because especially like
she's
She wasn't-
opinionated, but she
All right.
backs it up.
little peek behind the curtain.
Right.
When I ask questions to our guests,
Mhm.
they don't get that. They don't get like the hey guys, we're gonna ask these questions.
Right.
Mainly because it's Friday now,
Right.
and we finished those questions on Friday.
Right. Yeah. So just so you guys know, yeah, he's absolutely right. Nothing we ask anybody has ever been cleared by them or sent to them.
Right. So that being said, and like I think a lot of that has to do with good taste and
I agree.
whatnot. But
I agree. We have immaculate taste.
I will say this: Fleur had plenty of. She had the answers, and I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad.
She, you know, all that tells me is that every opinion that she says is thought out.
No. Yeah,
She
I
has an answer for it.
you know, I know she's got very limited time. She's got 3 opinions to think about. So I get it.
I disagree with her on Spider-Man.
Totally.
I agree with her on the Batmobile now that she explained it.
Right. That's a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know, like yeah. Okay. I
But,
get how she's talking about it.
Overall, what did you guys think? How did you like the interview? Let us know in the comments. Talk to us. Let us know if there's anything that we should have asked that we didn't. Let us know if you completely disagree with anything that we talked about or any opinion that we had. Let us know in the comments. Totally bitch us out. It's totally awesome.
Yeah.
And
And also, what you need to do is tell us if you disagree with her opinion, so this way we can tell her
we can be like,
personally.
you're wrong, and we're backed up.
Right.
Or tell us that we're out of our minds, and then we'll know.
now we'll know that Jim's an idiot.
We will know that I am an idiot. So where can they find you online?
You can find this idiot
Right.
at me, my own self, Mike, on all of the socials. My band is Something Heavy Music on all the social medias. You can find both of those on Spotify, on Apple Music, and all of those other, whatever.
Nice.
What about you,
Nice.
Jinsey?
You can find me personally at Jimmy G Shoes on Twitter and Instagram. And then you can find Craving Strange at cravingstrange.net. From there, you can get to all of our socials. You can check out our new music. You can check out our videos. You can buy merchandise, all that kind of stuff. So cravingstrange.net, and that'll get you everywhere else. All right. Also, if you check out Bacon Is My Podcast. .com. Baconismypodcast.com.
Yes.
You can listen to episodes. You can check out our merch. We got some cool merch out there. We are rolling out the Grammar is My Passion series now. So that's live now. That has been only for our patrons for a while now. Yeah. But now you guys can get it. Everybody can get it.
Don't ask me, bro.
Don't ask me, bro. Beware the thesaurus. So,
what's funny is that like a lot of those are not even on the show.
Yeah.
I mean, Thesaurus is that was on the show.
For those of you listening, this just goes to you guys because yes, grammar is spelled incorrectly on the t-shirts on purpose. Don't tell anyone.
You're an idiot.
I thought it was funny. I thought you knew that. Did you not know that?
I didn't even look at it.
You own one.
I do. I've worn it more than once.
Yeah. That's what's funny about it. It says Grammar is My Passion on it, misspelled. And then it gives you a grammar lesson. I don't know. If one person out there thinks that's funny, I succeeded.
Also, check out at Bacon Is My Pod on all social media outlets. Yeah. And like he said, check out the Patreon. You can get misspelled shirts.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I had no idea.
That's great.
Yeah.
I thought for sure you do.
Well, I wore a Jackknife Stiletto shirt.
Well, she didn't know. They didn't know.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I didn't know myself.
Yeah, grammar's misspelled on purpose.
Well, I wear shirts.
Grammer.
And this is. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So this is like the shirt that I wore. I don't even know what that says.
I don't either, but it's off center.
Yeah. Well, no, it's supposed to be off center.
But it's not on the left like it should be.
I don't know.
I like it.
The back is cool.
I like things like that. The back is cool.
Back.
I like the back.
It's a Malachi black shirt.
There's a snake biting a hand. Because you know what? Never trust a snake. Jake Roberts taught us that.
DDT.
DDT.
Anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching.
Mm-hmm.
Also, always,
before you ask yourself, stay in the conversation.
We said this
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Hashtag.
Oh, hashtag.
What's your bacon?
Yeah.
Hashtag Bacon Is My Podcast. Hashtag Bacon Is My Pod. Any of those things. Let us know your questions. Let us know what you want us to ask people. Let us know people you want us to talk to, and we'll get a hold of them. Let us know things you want us to answer, and we will answer them. Stay in the conversation. We will find it. We will check it out, and we'll stay in contact with you. But aside from that, what were you saying?
Always ask yourself,
what's your bacon?
That's the hashtag symbol.
Goddamn right it is.